Good afternoon, everyone, from Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Phillies and the Chicago Cubs, and a second chance for the Phillies to wrap up the National League Eastern Division title before the Pirates play their game tonight at home against the New York Mets. I'm Andy Musser, along with Chris Wheeler, Rich Ashburn, and Harry Callis. We've got an overcast day here in Chicago, but there is no forecast of rain this afternoon, and the wind is not blowing nearly as strong as it was yesterday. It is, however, blowing out toward right field, but it shouldn't be as much of a factor in this ball game. This afternoon, Larry Christenson, who's been a very hot pitcher for the Phillies lately, will take the mound to try to clinch the Eastern Division title for the Phillies, and he'll be up against Bill Bonham. Chris, I guess everybody was a little disappointed after not getting the job done yesterday, but everybody seems to have a good attitude about this one.
Yeah, Andy, they really did want to win the flag here in Chicago yesterday, but the players realize they have a lot of shots left at it, and they seem very, very loose and very determined to win this game today with Larry Christenson on the mound, who has been such a good pitcher, and they know they're facing a good pitcher in Bill Bonham, and it's a cold day here, and you don't look for the ball to carry. You don't think you're going to have one of those wild games at Wrigley Field, so I think the pitchers will play more a part in today's ball game.
The lineups have not yet been exchanged. The Cubs made a late change in their lineup. Bill Buckner has come up with a hamstring pull and will not be in this ball game today, so there will be one less left-handed batter in the Chicago lineup. We'll be back to give you those lineups following these messages.
You really care about your home, so you'll want to use the very best next time you paint. That means you'll want to use MAB Seashore House Paint for all your outside painting needs. People trust MAB Seashore House Paint because it's test-proven under the toughest weather conditions to keep your home looking fresh and beautiful for years. It goes on easily to save you time. For quality protection everywhere, near the ocean or in the city, trust your home to MAB and the more than 300 MAB paint stores, dealers, and Rich Lux Home Centers.
To make it in the gas station business, you got to stay one step ahead of everybody else. So at my Sunoco, I've got something nobody else has. Sunoco's penny pinching pump. It could save you money on quality gas, like my 190, the gas that's made to sell below my regular. And most cars that run on regular can use it. Hey, if I don't want you to pass me by, I got to give you a price you can't pass up. Sunoco's penny pinching pump. It can fill up your tank for less. That's my way of being very friendly.
Did you know that if you're using gas with higher octane than your engine needs, you're literally wasting your money? That's why Sunoco has the penny-pinching pump with 190 and 220. Both are quality gasolines. My 190 could save you money if your car runs on regular, and my 220 could save you money if your car runs on premium. Saving you money on quality gas is my way of being very friendly. Sunoco's penny-pinching pump. It could fill up your tank for less.
Did you realize it's now possible to live in a more expensive neighborhood without having to move? So if you're thinking of fixing up the old house instead of moving to a new one, Girard Bank can fix you up with a home improvement loan. You see, Girard thinks home improvements are a wise investment, and they have money to lend for just about any idea you have in mind. New roof, adding on a room, remodeling, and of course insulation. So before you fix up your home, let Girard Bank fix you up with a loan. Apply at any Girard Bank office.
And now, a message from Penn Jersey Auto Stores.
If you need an oil change, oil filter, air filter, spark plug, shock absorbs, carburetor, alternator, generator, mufflers, brake shoes, brake padding, brake fluid, antifreeze, thermostat, points, condenser.
If you need motor oil, get Quaker State now at Penn Jersey Auto Stores, because right now they're selling America's best-selling motor oil for less. Quaker State has oil for cars, boats, cycles, lawnmowers, trucks, just about anything with a motor. So stop by your nearest Penn Jersey Auto Store today and pick up some Quaker State motor oil.
It's stop at Penn Jersey Auto Stores.
The umpires are walking toward home plate right now. Bobby Wine starting out of the Phillies dugout with the Phils lineup. Peanuts Lowry carrying the Chicago lineup. And we'll be back to give them to you in just a moment. Chris Wheeler will have them for you. But right now, let's pause for station identification. This is the Phillies Baseball Network.
This is KYW Philadelphia. AccuWeather says variable cloudiness this afternoon and evening. 1 or 2 showers in the area. High near 80. Clear late tonight. Low 57. It's 2:31.
This is Chris Wheeler with Andy Musser back at Wrigley Field in Chicago, and here are the starting lineups. For the Phillies, Bake McBride will lead off and play right field. Larry Bowa, the shortstop, batting number 2. Mike Schmidt at third base. Greg Luzinski will be in left field. He'll hit number 4. Richie Hebner, the first baseman, batting 5th. Garry Maddox in center field. He'll hit number 6. Bob Boone will catch and bat 7th. Ted Sizemore is the second baseman. He'll hit number 8. And the pitcher today with a 17-6 record for the Phillies will be right-hander Larry Christenson. For the Chicago Cubs, Ivan De Jesus will lead off and play shortstop. Greg Gross in center field, batting number 2. Larry Biittner, the first baseman, he'll hit number 3. Bobby Murcer will be in right field, batting 4th. Steve Ontiveros, the third baseman, hits number 5. Gene Clines will play left field and bat number 6. Manny Trillo, the second baseman, will bat 7th. Rookie Mike Gordon will catch and hit number 8. And the pitcher will be right-hander Bill Bonham.
And the Chicago Cubs are taking the field. A reminder that during every Phillies game, each Philly that homers receives a free case of Tasty Cake. And the same goes for every Phillies winning pitcher. And you can win up to $10,000 in the Daily News home run payoff. This afternoon's payoff inning will be the 8th. Well, in case you're missing the voice of Rich Ashburn here on the opening, we'd like to mention that Rich is over in the television booth right now. There was some confusion over whether today's game would be televised, but it is on both the Phil's radio and television networks. And now we rise for our national anthem. Ready for baseball from Wrigley Field in Chicago. A rather sparse gathering here this afternoon. The importance of this game, of course, is it's a lot more important for the Phillies than it is for the Chicago Cubs. Although the Cubs yesterday did win an important ball game from their point of view in the fact that they will now finish with at least a 500 record. It's been a long time since the Cubs have had a record of 500 or better. In fact, 1972 was the last time. But yesterday was the Cubs' 81st victory of the year. There is one other game in Major League Baseball this afternoon, an American League contest, Chicago at Minnesota. Chris Knapp is pitching for the White Sox. Jeff Zahn is pitching for Minnesota. And in the first inning, Richie Zisk hit his 28th home run with a man on, so the White Sox have already taken a 2-0 lead in that game, although the first inning for the White Sox has not yet been reported as complete, but it's at least 2-0 Chicago in the top of the first inning. Bill Bonham to do the pitching for the Chicago Cubs. It's been an unusual year for him. He is getting his 33rd start today, and he has only one complete game. And that complete game was April 11th against the Phillies. He beat Wayne Twitchell by a 6-2 score. Phillies beat him on 2 other occasions, and he has a 9-9 lifetime record against the Phillies. Well, it's an overcast day here in Chicago, and very cold, as Chris mentioned, but no threat of rain in the forecast. And the wind is not blowing anywhere near the way it did yesterday. It is blowing toward right field again, straight out from left to right, but today only at 12 miles per hour, and we shouldn't see any balls zinging out of here like we did yesterday. Bake McBride is in the batter's box, and we're ready to go. Bonham into the windup, and the first pitch to Bake is a breaking ball, and he gets it over for a strike. Bake is batting at .315, and he carries a .346 average since joining the Phillies from the St. Louis Cardinals. Billy DeMar is coaching third, Tony Taylor at first. Here's a fastball over the outside corner, a strike. 0-2 the count to McBride. He'll be followed by Bowa and Schmidt. Here's Bonham's next delivery. A fastball is outside, 1-2. Bake has batted safely in the last 8 straight ball games. Phillies very hopeful of getting the job done today. The champagne has been on ice for a couple of days here in Chicago. Here's a ground ball off the end of his bat toward third. Short hop by Ontiveros. His throw across is low, but pulled out by Biittner. Bake McBride retired on a grounder third to first. That's 1 out. Next up, Larry Bowa. Larry batting .274. Biittner moving in from left field to play first today. Gene Clines, the left fielder. Billy Buckner sitting this one out. Here's a base hit to left field. Larry Bowa singles sharply into left field, and he takes a big turn. The ball picked up by the center fielder Gross, and Bowa aboard. Now headed for the plate, Mike Schmidt, and we want to wish him a happy birthday. It's number 28 for Mike today, and this would be a pretty happy occasion for him if the Phillies would wrap up the title today. Mike batting .275, and Schmidt, of course, has always hit well in this ballpark. He's got 15 career home runs here at Wrigley Field. Bonham stretches the pitch to Mike. Outside with a slider, ball one. Bowa at first base with one out. Phillies batting in the first inning. Next delivery to Schmidt is fouled off upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Andy Olson is working the plate today. Doug Harvey has first base. Dutch Renner at second. Nick Colosi at third. Phillies are seeking their 98th victory today. Last year they finished with 101. And that figure is still very much within their sights this year. Bonham makes a throw to first base. Bowa gets back.
It'd be nice to win 101, but boy, what the Phillies really want to do right now is pick up that 98th one and get this thing over with.
Pitch on the way to Schmidt is low. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mike Schmidt. Phillies have lost only 1 game in this ballpark, and that was yesterday afternoon. Their record here is 6-1, and their overall season record against the Cubs, 10 wins for the Phillies and 6 for Chicago. Mike takes a breaking ball inside, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike.
You get the feeling that the Cubs really want to play hard in this series. The Cubs really thought they were going to win the division this year, and they don't want to see the Phillies win the thing and at their expense right here at Wrigley Field. And they came out to play yesterday, and they seem like a pretty determined team right now.
Bonham makes a throw to first base. Bowa scampers back ahead of it. 3 balls and a strike to Schmidt. Mike shooting for the 100 RBI mark. He has 96 right now. There goes Bowa. And it's a hard-hit ball deep into right field. Going back is Bobby Murcer. He plants on the warning track, and he takes it right in front of the 368-foot sign. So the fact that the wind is not blowing today like it was yesterday has cost the Phillies a couple of runs. Schmidt hit that one pretty hard.
That ball yesterday is way out of here because Mike got it very, very high, and the balls that were high in the air yesterday were the ones that were flying out like Biittner's in the first inning, and he hits that ball this time yesterday, and it's a 2-0 lead. But that's what makes this park so much fun, because every day it's different.
Greg Luzinski batting at .310. Throw to first base, and Bowa is back again. Larry had a great running start last time, too. Pitch on the way to the ball. Ground ball off the end of his bat, and it rolls foul down the third base way. 1 strike to Luzinski.
Bonham is tough on Greg Luzinski. He's never had a whole lot of success hitting Bonham, and he'll admit that. And the thing that Bonham does to him, he throws him a lot of change-up and slap breaking balls. He really gets Greg off stride, and he spots his fastball well with him.
Now he steps off to get Bowa to go back to first. Bull does have 1 home run off Bonham this year. Swing and a miss at the change-up. 0-2 to Luzinski. A good change-up by Bonham.
That's what we mean. He throws Greg Luzinski so many change-ups, and Bull says he just doesn't pick him up well.
Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Half swing, and he takes a fastball up high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bonham is 6'3", 195 pounds, from Glendale, California. This is his 7th year in Major League Baseball. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Wait a minute. No, it was foul tipped and dropped by Gordon. Hold on. Hold on. Bull is still alive at the plate. Gordon started to walk away. He thought he had a strikeout. But Andy Olson made that call right away. That was a foul ball.
He got some help, too, from Nick Colosi, the third base umpire, called it foul all the way. And Billy DeMars was 3/4 of the way down the line, and he was going to tell everybody it was a foul ball. You could hear him foul it from up here, and Gordon kind of short-hopped it. He did a good job bluffing it, though, and then he took right off for the dugout.
Now the throw to first base. Bowa is back in front of the throw. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Greg Luzinski. Greg with a career-high 127 RBIs. Swing and a miss on a slider, and Luzinski strikes out. For the Phillies in the first, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. At the end of the half inning, Phil's nothing, and the Cubs coming up. Cubs in the first inning will bat Ivan DeJesus, Greg Gross, and Larry Biittner, facing Larry Christenson, who has been a real excellent pitcher for the Phillies in the last couple of months. He has won 5 straight and 13 of his last 14 decisions. Today, Larry is seeking his 18th victory, and of course, he is at a career peak right now. Larry has already beaten the Cubs 3 times this year without defeat, and he is 5-1 lifetime against Chicago. Here's DeJesus. He has batted safely in 7 straight ball games. He was a real bother to the Phillies yesterday. He had a pair of doubles and a triple. Right-handed batter, Ivan De Jesus. Peanuts Lowry coaching at third base. Harry Dunlop at first. De Jesus swings and fouls off the first pitch, strike one. Cubs are back in third place in the National League East by a fraction of a percentage point over the St. Louis Cardinals, who lost to Montreal last night. The one-strike pitch is a fastball outside. Christenson has been bothered lately by a blister on his pitching hand, and he has only gone 6 innings in his last 2 starts. Outside, ball 2, 2-1, the count to De Jesus. That blister bothers him particularly when he throws the slider. De Jesus sends a fly ball down the right field line. It's foul, and it's into the seats. 2 balls, 2 strikes to De Jesus. Cubs have lost 3 of their last 4 ball games, having been swept by the Pirates before beating the Phillies here yesterday. No score in this ball game. Last half of the first inning. Phillies trying to wrap it up today. Pitch to De Jesus is a looper toward right field, a base hit. Right off the handle of the bat, but it falls safely in right field, and De Jesus has another hit. Single to right.
Well, Christenson went strictly with a fastball. He threw 5 fastballs to De Jesus, and like Andy said, he wasn't going to throw his slider, and he'll probably throw a changeup and curveball along with it, and he hit De Jesus right on the thumbs with that one. He just kind of slung it out into right field for that base hit. He really jammed him.
Left-handed batting Greg Gross, hitting at .316, having a fine year. Pitch on the way to Gross, a strike right at the belt. Greg with his 5th home run here yesterday, and he has 29 runs batted in. If you were with us before the ball game, you heard him as Richie's guest on the pregame show. Here's the 1-strike pitch to him, and there is a changeup. It misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. De Jesus on first. He leads the Cubs in stolen bases with 21. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball missing outside and low, 2-1.
Cubs don't do a lot of running, but a good time to hit and run in the count is on a 2-1 pitch, and that's what Gross has going. He's a good contact hitter, and De Jesus runs the bases well, and wouldn't be surprised if they do that.
Oh, here's a quick throw to first base, and just back ahead of it is De Jesus. Christenson really faked him out there. He was just getting set on the rubber when he quickly wheeled and fired to first. De Jesus takes a big lead as the pitch is being thrown. There he goes. The pitch is swung on but fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Gross. De Jesus will come back. 2 of Christenson's wins over the Cubs this year have been against Mike Krukow, who will be working the game tomorrow here for Chicago. The Cubs have not gotten a home run off Christenson this year, and Larry has not yielded any round trippers in his last 3 starts. 2-2 to Gross. The pitch on the way, checks his swing and takes a fastball outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Gross.
The Cubs will probably run De Jesus again here, and 3-2 count, and Gross just not a strikeout man. He usually puts the ball in play somewhere, and it's a good time to start your runner.
Christenson stretches. There goes De Jesus. The pitch is popped up, but it's foul out of play. Again, De Jesus running. He'll have to come back. Cloudy and overcast in Chicago. No threat of rain, though. It's very, very cold. I think we got a chance of snow before we get rain. I'm just kidding about that, really. It's 60 degrees here, but it feels a lot cooler than that. Here's another quick throw to first base. De Jesus is back. And the wind is again blowing to right, but not nearly as briskly as yesterday. Christenson stretches. There goes De Jesus. Here's the pitch. Strikeout. Throw to second base. He is... Oh, he's safe. The umpire at second base, Dutch Rennert, started to raise the hand and then put the safe sign out. So that's a stolen base for De Jesus as Gross strikes out.
I think Dutch made the right call. It looked like De Jesus was safe on that play, and Andy's right. Dutch started to come up with that thumb and then gave it the safe sign, and Gross struck out on a tough pitch. It looked like it might have been a little high in the strike zone, and he argued quite a bit before he went back to the dugout.
22nd stolen base for De Jesus. He's at second. 1 out, and here's another tough left-handed batter, Larry Biittner. He has 9 hits in his last 14 times up. Biittner batting now at .304. Pitch on the way to Larry, and he takes a breaking ball high, ball 1. Biittner has 2 hits and 8 tries batting against Christenson this year. Larry stretches, and here's the pitch. Fastball outside, 2-0. Biittner got his 60th run batted in yesterday. Pitch on the way to him. It's high, a ball. Christenson falls behind Biittner, 3-0. Bobby Murcer is on deck. There's no score in this ball game. Cubs batting last half of the first inning. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Strike right at the knees. Three balls and 1 strike to count on left-handed batting Larry Biittner. DeJesus at second with 1 away. Christenson steps off the rubber. Phillies and the Cubs will wind up their seasonal play here tomorrow afternoon at the same time. Here's the 3-1 pitch. It's a strike call right at the letters. Biittner thought it was high, and he goes out of the batter's box to try to compose himself. He was certain that that was ball 4. Full count to Larry Biittner. Christenson ready to work. Here's the payoff pitch. It is low, ball 4. That may have been a better pitch than the called strike 2. Biittner draws the base on balls. Runners at first and second with 1 out, and Bobby Murcer to hit. Murcer had a home run here yesterday. Bobby batting at .266. Cubs leader in home runs with 26. Bobby a left-handed batter. Christenson stretches. Here's his delivery to Murcer, and it's a changeup outside, ball 1. So Christenson struggling a little bit here in the first inning. You can tell he's not really sharp, and it could be because of the fact that that blister has bothered his slider. He doesn't want to use it that much. Here's a strike right at the knees, and he's trying to get by on his other pitches. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bobby Murcer. DeJesus the runner at second, Biittner the runner at first with 1 out. The 1-1 pitch. Fly ball into left center field. Greg Luzinski getting over, and the bull makes the catch. Murcer flies out to left fielder Greg Luzinski in left center. That's the 2nd out of the inning, and the runners stay where they are. Next up, Steve Ontiveros, switch hitter, batting left-handed. He's batting at .295. 10 home runs, 66 runs batted in. Christenson has handled him well this year. Steve has just 1 hit in 10 tries against LC. First pitch on the way to Ontiveros, and it's over for a strike called.
Well, if that wasn't a slider, I've never seen one.
Well, Larry said he's going to break it out now and then so that they don't get the idea that he's abandoned it altogether.
Well, he just threw one there.
Here's a wheel and a throw to second base. Safe to Jesus, just back ahead of the tag by Sizemore. Good throw to second.
Phillies working that play a little bit better. They're going to get somebody soon. Yesterday, they almost picked a Cub off second, and Christenson played that very well then. It's strictly a timing play, and they almost got to Jesus.
1 strike pitch on the way to Ontiveros, and it's a strike on the outside corner. 0-2 to Steve. Phillies and the Cubs are scoreless last half of the first inning. Phils have a magic number of 1, which means they have clinched a tie for the Eastern Division title. Now they have to clinch it outright. 2 strikes on Ontiveros. Christenson stretches. Pitch on the way to the plate. Fly ball, and it's foul out of play off the left field side. Ball lands on the roof. No balls and 2 strikes on Ontiveros. Gene Clines, a late addition to the Chicago lineup, is on deck. He was not originally listed to play today. They were going to go with Billy Buckner, but he came up with a hamstring injury prior to the game. Really been a year of injuries for him. Swing and a miss. Ontiveros strikes out. Christenson picking up his 2nd strikeout, and the Cubs are out. No runs, 1 hit and 2 left. At the end of 1 inning, no score. Now time for a tasty break. Philly's 2nd inning starts with Richie Hebner, and he takes low, ball 1. Hebner is batting .287. Bonham winds. Here's the next pitch. There's a slider, and it's in for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Hebner with 60 runs batted in. Cub outfield playing Richie straight away. Here's the next pitch. Outside. 2 balls and a strike to Hebner. He'll be followed by Maddox and Boone. No score. Second inning of this ball game. Bonham winds. Here's the next pitch. Low. 3 balls, 1 strike. Larry Bowa got a hit in the first inning with 1 down, but the Phillies could not advance him as Schmidt was out on a fly ball and Luzinski struck out. 3-1 pitch to Hebner. Outside, ball 4. Richie's aboard. First walk given up by Bonham. Hebner at first base, and the hitter will be Garry Maddox, probably the Phillies' hottest hitter right now. He's batted safely in 11 straight ball games, and he's had RBIs in the last 5 straight ball games. Maddox batting at .292.
I believe the notes are correct today on the hitting streak, 11.
I didn't read the notes today, Chris. I thought it was a waste of time. Pitch on the way to Gary, high a ball. Only kidding. I don't know how we'd exist without. You know, yesterday, the players stole Chris's bag. You came out to the ballpark thinking you weren't going to have anything with you. 1-0 pitch on the way to Maddox. Swing and a miss.
People have no idea the pressures I have to work under. You leave your bag, and that bag is heavy, too. I don't know who picked it up and carried it. They got to be nuts to carry that thing around. You leave it sitting in the hotel lobby for 2 minutes, and you come out and it's gone. And they told me it was hidden under a tree. They had me out there looking for it.
Did you ever find out who did that?
Hebner.
There goes the runner as a ground ball to shortstop. DeJesus will have just 1 play at first base. He gets it there in time. Well, that saved a double play right there. That was a double play ball, but with Hebner running, he makes it to second base. So the Phils get a break. 1 out in the inning. Hebner at second, and the hitter will be Bob Boone. Boone batting .286. The Cubs out-homered the Phillies yesterday 3-1, but the season series stands heavily in favor of the Phillies. 22 home runs to 8. Here's the pitch to Boone. Slider is outside, ball 1. Bob has 11 home runs this year and 62 runs batted in. It is cold and raw here in Chicago today. This is a tough place to play baseball. Off times in the beginning and at the end of seasons. Fastball misses high, 2-0 to Boone. Hebner at second with 1 out. Scoreless ball game in the Phillies' second inning. Phillies have won 7 of their last 11 ball games, but the clinching has been delayed because the Pirates have been playing so well. The 2-0 pitch, hard hit ball, center field, base hit. Here comes Hebner. Here comes the throw to the plate. And he is safe. Phillies lead at 1-0. On his way to second base is Boone, and he gets there. That'll be a single for Boone, and the Phillies lead the ball game.
Well, Biittner made a bad play on that. When he cut the ball off, he didn't cut it off cleanly, and he fumbled it, and that allowed Boone to move into second into scoring position there. The throw was not going to get the runner at the plate. There was no way he was going to be out, and Biittner should have gone up and cut that ball off cleanly, and he kind of short-hopped it, and Boone moved up to second.
So the Phillies take a 1-0 lead in the ball game, and here's Ted Sizemore, and a chance for more as Boone moves into scoring position. Sizemore batting .284. 63rd run batted in for Bob Boone. Pitch to Sizemore. He bunts. It's down the third base side. It is rolling foul. That was a beautiful play, but it just went foul. Strike 1 to Sizemore. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Phillies Baseball Network.
This is KYW Philadelphia. AccuWeather says variable cloudiness this afternoon. Clearing late tonight. Low overnight around 57. Right now 75, cloudy, and it's 3:01.
1 strike on Sizemore. Boone back at second base with 1 out. The Phillies take a jump. 1-0 in the ball game. Bonham stretches. Pitch on the way to Sizemore. Slider is low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Size has 2 hits and 7 tries against Bonham this year. One pitch on the way to Sizemore. He punches it toward left field. It falls for a base hit in front of Clines. Boone will be held at third base. Single for Sizemore, but the Phillies have runners at first and third with one out. Boone did not get a good break because there was a chance Clines would catch that ball.
Yeah, and Billy DeMars was giving him the wave around, coming around third. I think he thought that Boone had gotten off the bag a little better than he had, and then all of a sudden he saw that Boone was just getting to third when Clines picked the ball up, and the reason is, like Andy said, that ball was lined and had a good chance of being caught. So it was smart to hold Boone there because Larry Christenson's a good hitting pitcher, and he can hit the ball in the air and possibly get you a sacrifice fly in this situation.
Here's Larry Christenson at the plate, batting 130. Larry has 9 hits this year, including a pair of home runs. Now Bonham steps off the rubber. Cubs are getting action in their bullpen now. Pitch on the way to Christenson. It's a pitch out, but nothing is happening. Runners at first and third with only one away. Pete Broberg, right-hander, is warming up for Chicago.
Cubs were looking for the squeeze in that situation, and it's a good play. The Phillies might have put it on, and they still might, but Christenson does drive the ball pretty well, and I think Danny will let him swing away in this spot.
Now Boone started down the line at third, and Bonham became unnerved and stepped off. Stretches, here's the pitch. Christenson bunts, the runner from third not going. Bonham fakes going to second, now goes to first. Now Boone comes in and scores. Phillies get a run. That's the second run of the ball game. A delayed reaction by Boone. He waited until Bonham was committed to throwing to first, and then Boone came home and he scored.
Well, Bonham really messed that play up because I don't know whether the Phillies got the play messed up to begin with or not, because it looked like it was a suicide squeeze, but Boone didn't break. And then when Christenson bunted the ball real hard, he had no chance of scoring, and Bonham just took his time and got himself a little bit confused, and Boone made a good play on that by scoring. He got halfway down the line, and as soon as Bonham threw to first, he took off and scored. And he just did get Christenson, too.
Now the batter is Bake McBride, and Sizemore down at second base. That was a great play. Christenson will get a run batted in. He'll get a sacrifice. Phillies lead the ball game 2-0. Good base running by Boone. Pitch on the way to McBride. Fly ball down the left field side. Coming over is Clines, but this ball is hanging up there, and he catches it in foul ground. Clines makes the play in foul ground off of left field, and that's the final out of the inning. For the Phillies in the second, 2 runs on 2 hits. No Chicago errors, and 1 man left on base. At the end of an inning and a half, the Phillies lead the Cubs 2-0. Here's Gene Clines to lead off the second inning for Chicago. Clines, a right-handed batter, hitting at .288. Phillies have a 2-0 lead in the ball game for Larry Christenson, who has won 13 of his last 14 decisions. Larry did not have a good first inning here. He struggled. Here's his first pitch to Clines, and it misses ball 1. But he did finish with 2 strikeouts, and he was tough when he had to be. 1-0 pitch to Clines is fouled away. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 to Gene Clines. He'll be followed by Trillo and Gordon. There's a fastball inside. 2 balls and a strike. Clines, playing limited time this year, has still knocked in 40 runs. The 2-1 delivery is fouled away. Two balls and 2 strikes to right-handed batting Gene Clines. Christenson winds. Here's the pitch. Punch toward right field. McBride over toward the line, coming hard. He gets it. Good catch by Bake McBride just as he approached the foul line in right field. And there's not a whole lot of room down there beyond that foul line where the Phillies have their bullpen. Clines is out. 1 out in the second, and Manny Trillo will bat. He's hitting at .279. Trillo has 7 homers this year, 57 RBIs. He was a hot hitter at the beginning of the season, leading the league for quite a stretch, but he has really tailed off since the All-Star game. Pitch on the way to Manny. A breaking ball is fouled outside of third, strike 1. Cubs have 1 hit in the ball game, a leadoff single by Ivan DeJesus in the first inning. The 1-strike pitch to Trillo. Slider outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Warren Brewster is heading toward the Phillies bullpen and from the dugout, and Christenson couldn't help but notice him going by. He glanced over that way. Here's a pitch that misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. Christenson saying to himself, I don't need any help yet. 2-0 lead Phillies. Swing and a miss by Trillo. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Manny. Trillo has 2 hits and 11 tries batting against Christenson this year. Switch hitting catcher Mike Gordon is on deck. Here's the 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, high, ball 3. Full count to Manny Trillo. Larry winds, and here's the payoff pitch. Check swing foul ball sharply back into the crowd.
Boy, some guy had a 10-second delay for reflexes down there, and he almost got cold cocked with that thing. That ball was right on him, and he didn't move, and luckily it hit the chair beside him. I don't know how he didn't move on that ball.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Hit hard into right field, but McBride hardly has to move, and he takes it for the out. Manny Trillo hit that ball right on the nose, but he is out, and that's out number 2. McBride has made both plays, and here's Mike Gordon. Chicago White Sox got 4 runs in the first inning. 2 of the runs coming on a Richie Zisk home run. Minnesota Twins answered back with 1, so it's 4-1 Chicago at the end of an inning. Here's a pitch in for a strike to Gordon. Got his first major league hit here yesterday. He's 1 for 16. Christenson misses with a changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gordon also had a couple of RBIs yesterday. Here's one foul back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count on Gordon.
Well, Larry's doing about what you said he would, Andy, at the beginning of the game. It's mostly fastball changeup so far.
Oh, here's one that bounces in front of the plate, and Booney had to block it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He has used the slider a couple of times, but he appears to be using it in situations where he doesn't think the batter's going to swing.
Now, he's just kind of running it out there. They don't know that he's not going to throw it much. They don't know that he's been bothered by that blister, and he's just going to show it to them once in a while to make them think that he still has it.
Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it bounces low and inside. I hope he's not having trouble with that blister.
Well, he's thrown him 2 straight changeups that he's bounced.
Here's the next pitch, and it's a foul ball out of play. Richie Zisk has hit another home run. This was a 3-run shot, his 29th of the year, and so the White Sox, who had a 4-run first, have had a 3-run second. And Minnesota has called on Gary Sarum to come in and do the pitching. You know, of course, that they have nicknamed him Truth.
Yeah, that would go with that.
Here again, the payoff pitch, and it's a hard-hit ground ball. Sizemore moving sharply to his left. He picks it up on the run and throws him out. Gordon is out, and the Cubs are retired in order in the second. At the end of 2, the Phillies lead it 2-0.
You want it, we got it. That's your Chrysler.
I'm Harry Callis, and we've got the sensibly sized luxury car you've been waiting for. Chrysler LeBaron. Your Chrysler Plymouth dealer's got a good selection of 2- and 4-door beauties, each with the features you want. LeBaron's sure built for good looks and comfort. And now's the smart time to buy, because you get luxury and beat the 78 price increase, too. Get the best 77 deal on LeBaron at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers today.
My grandfather used to tell me what Philadelphia was like back in 1869, the year he started brewing wort leaves. The whole world was coming here, hard-working, beer-loving people. When a bunch of those boys thundered into your place after a 14-hour workday, you either served up a great glass of beer or some big palooka would dump it all over you. Which is why to this day, a lot of neighborhood taverns serve nothing but wort leaves.
Try Joe's beer. Ortlieb's.
The Phillies will be back on Thursday night to meet the Montreal Expos at Veterans Stadium in a ball game that will start at 7:35. And remember to start working on your banners for Banner Day on Sunday. And remember, too, that those banners have to be carried by no more than 2 people. When you prepare your banner, bring it to Gate H down the right field side, the truck entrance at Gate H by 11:30 in the morning on Sunday. The Phil's final regular season game against the Montreal Expos will begin at 1:35 on Sunday afternoon. And the top 5 batters, by the way, are going to be awarded a pair of tickets to a playoff game. That's quite a prize. Larry Bowa swings and grounds one towards second base. Trillo was playing way in, and he gunned him out. That's got to be a hard ball to catch by a first baseman, as Trillo was not standing that far away from Biittner, and he gunned that sidearm pitch over toward first, and he really threw it hard. Bowa is out on one pitch. Here's the birthday boy, Mike Schmidt. Flied out deep to right field in his first at-bat. Mike celebrating number 28 today. Phillies have a 2-0 lead in this ball game, and if they win it, they'll be the Eastern Division champion for the second year in a row. Ground ball foul outside of third. Don Carruthers is now in there pitching for Minnesota in the third inning. The Twins started Jeff Zahn. He was knocked out in the second. Gary Sarum came in, and now Carruthers. Richie Zisk with 2 home runs. Low a ball. He isn't signed yet by the White Sox, is he?
No, he's a free agent.
He's had some kind of year. He has already knocked in 5 runs in that game. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Mike, a slider, and it's a called strike. A ball and 2 strikes to Schmidt.
He's a good hitter. I'll tell you, a lot of the people in the National League were glad when he went out to the American League, because Richie Zisk's a good RBI man, a good clutch hitter. I'm glad the Phillies didn't have to look at him all year.
Swing and a miss by Schmidt on a changeup. Mike strikes out. That's the second out of the third inning.
Of course, on the same note, they did come up with Rich Gossage, the Pirates. Did a tremendous job for them this year, but you can't use Rich Gossage every day like Richie Zisk, and I guess both teams are happy with that deal.
Here's Greg Luzinski. Bull struck out his first time up. Here is a hard-hit ball deep to right field. Mercer getting back. He's got room, and he takes it on the warning track. Deepest part of the ballpark, but Luzinski flies out, and the Phillies are retired 1-2-3 in the third. At the end of 2.5, the Phils lead at 2-0. Now time for a tasty break. 2.5. The Phils lead at 2-0. Now time for a tasty break.
Ball or strike, fair or foul, safe or out. Every time an umpire calls a play, he puts his good name on the line. Tasty Cake understands, because we put our good name on the line with every family pack of Tasty Cake chocolate, peanut butter, or mint candy cakes we bake. Candy Cakes, a brand new name for one of your all-time Tasty Cake favorites. Tasty Cake, still all the good things wrapped up in one.
The taste and the feel in your life. Coca-Cola, you and me, looking for some extra life. For life, cold tastes nice now, looking to live, feeling the beat, or playing cool, beating the heat. Coke has life, everybody wants a little life. Hey, yeah, Coke has life, got the taste and the feel in your life. Coca-Cola, come on, boy. I gotta share a Coke with you. Get the Coke, everything is true. You wanna live a little bit more. That's what the taste of Coke is for. Coke has life. Everybody wants a little life. Coca-Cola.
Pitcher Bill Bonham leads off the Chicago third inning against Larry Christenson. Pitch on the way to the right-handed batter is grounded foul toward first base. Strike one. Bonham batting .226. He has 14 hits this year, including a pair of doubles. He has driven in 3 runs. Larry winds. Here's the one-strike pitch. It's driven to left field, and it's in there for a hit and maybe extra bases. The Bull has to chase it down to the ivy. Here goes Bonham on his way to second, and he goes in standing up with a double. He really drilled that ball to left field between Luzinski and the line, and the Bull had to go all the way to the warning track to get it.
This is KYW 1060 News Radio in Philadelphia. We're having a problem bringing you the Phillies game from Chicago. The Phils, of course, are leading now 2-0 over the Cubs. As soon as we're able to restore our line to Chicago, we'll continue with the game. KYW News Time, now 3:18. I'll bring you up to date on some of the top stories of the hour from the KYW newsroom. A bill that would appropriate $300 million to Pennsylvania's professional schools is in trouble in the legislature. One portion of the measure that would provide money for the Jefferson Medical School in Philadelphia has been defeated on an initial vote. Talks are underway once again in the dispute between the school district and its striking custodians and bus drivers. Meanwhile, a temporary injunction limiting picketing by the strikers has been made permanent. Testimony has begun in the perjury trial of Stanley Apfelbaum, an aide to District Attorney Emmett Fitzpatrick. Apfelbaum is accused of lying to the grand jury about an alleged phony robbery at an auto dealership. Police in Upper Merion continue their investigation into a report from a chambermaid at the Sheraton Valley Forge Hotel that she's been assaulted twice by the same man, although he was scared off both times. This is the latest in a series of reported assaults on chambermaids in the county. Pennsylvania State Police are searching for escaped murderer Russell Schultz, who fled the Huntington Correctional Institute earlier this month. Police believe Schultz may have been the man who kidnapped a Huntington guard, his wife and son yesterday, eventually leaving them unharmed. The former mayor of Lindenwold, New Jersey, has pleaded guilty to charges of bribery, conspiracy, and misconduct in office in connection with a zoning decision. William McDade admits that he accepted a $15,000 bribe. KYW News Time, 3:20. Coming up in just a moment, we'll take a look at what's happening on Wall Street.
Feel good, then you just gotta come to Geno's. Because that's where you'll find Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken. Golden brown and finger-licking good. They go together. Kentucky Fried Chicken and Geno's. So come on, come to Geno's and feel good.
AccuWeather for the tri-state area. Variable cloudiness this evening with 1 or 2 showers in the area. Clear late tonight, the low around 57. It's cloudy at Independence Mall, 76 degrees here, 74 at the airport. And now we'll return to the play-by-play of today's Phillies-Chicago Cubs game in Chicago to bring you up to date on the score. The Cubs have 1 run across now, so the game 2-1. The Cubs are up in the 3rd inning. Let's rejoin Andy Murcer.
Phillies lead the ball game 2-1. And for those of you who have been wondering where Rich Ashburn is today, well, Rich is over on TV side right now, but he'll be here next inning. Pitch on the way to Mercer, misses inside. I almost wish I could stick around to hear the first ever appearance between Rich Ashburn and Chris Wheeler. There'd be so much expertise in here. Here's a ground ball on the right side, backhanded by Hebner. A nice play. He'll run to the bag himself. A good play by Hebner. Looked for a moment like it might go through. Cubs get a run in the 3rd inning. They do it on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 man left. Rich Ashburn will have the play-by-play in a moment. At the end of 3, Phil's lead it 2-1.
Okay, we're in the top of the 4th inning. Rich Hebner, the batter, takes a called strike, and now a pitch outside. The count is 1-1 to Hebner. Hebner, Maddox, and Boone here in the 4th. The Phillies lead it 2-1. I'm Rich Ashburn. Harry Kellis, of course, will be joining us, I guess, a little later. Hebner takes inside. 2-1 the count. Hebner walked his first time up and scored the first Phillies run. Really a pleasure to be working here with Chris Wheeler as my color man. Hebner pops one up. Playable. Steve Ontiveros at 3rd. Between home and 3rd, makes the catch, and Hebner's out. Looks like Hebner may have chased a bad pitch. 1 down, and the batter, Garry Maddox. Garry grounded out his first time up.
Oh, Whitey, as far as he just threw his batting helmet, I guess he agrees with you. He really just took his batting helmet and fired it all over the place, so he probably agreed with you.
Well, he's thinking, I guess, right field today with that breeze blowing out that way. And, of course, when you go after that high outside pitch, that's a hard ball to hit into right field. Maddox takes a pitch outside, ball 1. Garry hitting .291. Ground ball to 3rd. Ontiveros gloves it. Over to 1st to Biittner, and Maddox is out. 2 down. 2 quick outs here in the 4th, and the batter will be catcher Bob Boone. Boone singled in the first Phillies run and scored the 2nd run. Boone 1 for 1, batting .288. Boone's brought that average up wheels along with Maddox in the last couple of weeks.
He feels really good physically now, Whitey. You know, he's been having a lot of knee trouble, and he says he feels really good right now.
He takes a called strike. Boone changes his batting stance about 3 times a week, I believe. I don't know which one he's in now, but it seems to be working pretty well. Takes a pitch inside. 1-1 the count to Boone. 2 outs. Nobody on. Phillies leading 2-1 in the 4th inning. Trying to wrap it up here this afternoon. Magic number is 1. Boone swings and misses at a slider. I don't see how Bonham's record is only 10 wins and 12 losses. He has good stuff. Boone fouls a pitch back.
He's one of those guys, you just look at him, and like you said, he has good stuff, and you can't believe he doesn't win more. I've heard stories about him where they want him to brush back hitters and intimidate hitters a little more, and that he's such a nice guy that he doesn't do any of that. And if you notice, he really doesn't come in on right-handed hitters too much, and there might be something to it.
1-2 pitch to Boone. Ground ball to the shortstop. De Jesus has it. Fires to first. Boone is out, and the Phillies are retired in order. Cubs batting in the home 4th. The score here, the Phillies 2, the Cubs 1.
You really care about your home, so you'll want to use the very best next time you paint. That means you'll want to use MAB Seashore House Paint for all your outside painting needs. People trust MAB Seashore House Paint because it's test-proven under the toughest weather conditions to keep your home looking fresh and beautiful for years. It goes on easily to save you time. For quality protection everywhere, near the ocean or in the city, trust your home to MAB and the more than 300 MAB paint stores, dealers, and Rich Lux Home Centers.
Once upon a time, there was a couple who needed a car.
Honey, we need a car.
My shoes have had it.
They wanted a sensible car because they were sensible people.
We're sensible people.
We save string.
We buy bonds.
We brush regularly.
We hang up our clothes.
But they also wanted a car that was fun because they liked a good time.
Anybody for a quick game of fish?
Oh, cold glass of milk and you're on.
Well, knowing how hard it is to find a car that is both sensible and fun, they went straight to their Buick dealer, whom they knew to be a most reliable source for such cars.
Say, you wouldn't have...
Of course he would.
At which point, the dealer introduced them to the Buick Skylark. When the V6 engine, the compact size, and the ample room were pointed out, they were amazed at how much sense the Skylark made.
Isn't that amazing?
I am bowled over.
And when the famous Buick ride, comfort, and road manners came to their attention, they were quick to see how much fun a Skylark could be.
Gee, that looks like fun.
Oh, you're not just listening.
They were so overjoyed with their Skylark, they stopped the car, ran up to the first person they saw, hugged him, and kissed him.
I'm going to hug him.
I'm going to kiss him.
Which might not make much sense, but it certainly was fun.
Cubs batting here in the bottom of the 4th. Steve Ontiveros will lead it off. He struck out his first time up. Ontiveros hitting .294. Takes the first pitch low, ball 1. Ontiveros, Clines, and Trillo to face Larry Christenson. The Phillies leading 2-1. Next delivery. Fastball a little high. 2-0 the count to Ontiveros. Cubs scored an unearned run in the 3rd. Phillies scored 2 earned runs in the 2nd. Boone knocked in one, Christensen the other one. Here's a pop fly, left field. Foul, I believe, and out of play. Ball 2 and a strike to Ontiveros. White Sox lead Minnesota 7-2. They're in the 4th inning. White Sox should finish 3rd in their division. The Cubs are trying to finish 3rd in National League East. They're tied with the Cardinals. Here's a ground ball. Base hit to right field for Steve Ontiveros, right between 1st and 2nd. So Ontiveros on, nobody out, and the batter, left fielder Gene Clines. Clines lined out to right field his first time up.
You know, Whitey, there are some people around that didn't think this was possible, that you and I could sit here and talk like this.
Most people don't realize what great friends we are. Here's a fly ball right field. Bake McBride hardly has to move. Makes the catch, and Clines is out on one pitch.
Yeah, and I'm one of them.
Let's pause for station identification on the Phillies Baseball Network.
This is KYW News Radio 1060 Philadelphia. AccuWeather telling us variable cloudiness this evening with 1 or 2 showers in the area.
Second baseman Manny Trillo, the batter. Trillo flied out to right field his first time up. He's hitting .278. Pitch to him. Line drive, right field. Bake McBride coming over, makes the catch. And Trillo is out on one pitch. So Ontiveros at first, 2 outs. And the batter, catcher Mike Gordon. Chris, I'd like to get into your baseball background a little bit. I know our fans would be interested in the extensive background that you've had. Where was that? Marple Newtown Little League to start with.
Yeah,
to end with,
right.
I believe.
That's right, the beginning and the end, Rich.
Gordon fouls one back, strike one. When did you first notice you couldn't play?
Early?
When they started throwing the curveball.
Oh, yeah. As soon as that ball started spinning the other way, boy, it was all over. Said I ought to try and get in the business and watch a game.
They tell me you could really pick it, though.
I could pick it and throw, Whitey. Yes, I could, yes. Larry Bowa would have been envious of me as a shortstop.
Christenson ready. One strike pitch, strike two called. 0-2 the count to Mike Gordon. Well, there are a lot of frustrated baseball players around, I guess. Gordon takes a little bit low. No, he's called out on an appeal call and called out by third base umpire Nick Colosi, and Gordon can't believe it. But that'll end the inning. No runs, one hit, one left on. At the end of 4 full innings, the Phillies still lead the Cubs 2-1. We're in the top of the 5th inning. This is Rich Ashburn along with Chris Wheeler. Phillies baseball. Ted Sizemore will lead it off. He singled his first time up. It'll be Sizemore, Christenson, and McBride to face Bill Bonham. The Phillies lead it 2-1.
Who is that man that just came storming into our booth?
Harry Kellis is back with us. He was in Philadelphia, took a late morning flight in here. He had some work to do in Philly, and he's back with us now, so he'll be joining us. Sizemore, ground ball to De Jesus at short, over to first, and Sizemore is out on one pitch. Larry Christenson will bat. Wheels in that first time Christenson was up. Do you think somebody might have missed a sign on that?
Oh, that play was messed up by the Phillies and the Cubs, I think. It looked like it was a safety squeeze, and it was supposed to be a suicide squeeze.
That's right. Bonham could have picked up that bunt and thrown it 4 places. He could have gone to third, second, first, or home. The best place would have been home, but he threw it to first and got the out, but it looked like he was a little confused. Christenson up there, kind of 2-0 on him now.
What he did, Whitey, was he let Boone get way down the line too far at third. He never really looked him back, and then once he threw to first, Boone was so far down the line that he just walked home after that.
2-0 pitch to Christenson is a called strike. Well, Larry can pop one once in a while. He's hit a couple of home runs. Has a run batted in this game with a sacrifice bunt. Check swing, ground ball towards first, picked up by Biittner. He steps in the bag. Christenson is out. The pitching is really settled down in this series. Yesterday was a wild game. 2 outs, nobody on. The batter, Bake McBride. Bake is 0 for 2, hitting at .314. Phillies have 2 runs on 3 hits. 1 costly error. The Cubs 1 run on 3 hits. Here's a pop-up in the infield and an easy play for De Jesus. McBride is out, and the Phillies are down in order again. Cubs batting in the home 5th. The score, the Phillies 2, the Cubs 1.
You want it, we got it. Ask your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
We've got the best Volare values of 77 now. I'm Harry Callis, and I thought Volare was a good value before, but now it's a great value. All 3 models, coupe, sedan, and the #1 selling wagon in America, have great year-end deals, just in time to beat the 78 price increase. Get the best 77 deal on your Volare at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers today.
You've never seen such wonders.
The best thing about a Warren's Card and Gift Shop is something you can't buy. It's the warm, friendly attitude of our employees. At Warren's, you're treated as a guest. People stroll through our 16 stores. No pressure, just the joy of finding a perfect gift.
You've never seen such wonders.
Stop in at one of our Warren's Card and Gift Shops, where shopping is a pleasure. All your gifts are wrapped free. Be our guest first, and then a customer if you find the gift you want. See for yourself that Warren's is a nice place to visit and to shop.
You've never seen such wonders.
Visit our Warren's Card and Gift Shop in the Granite Run Mini Mall in the Acme Building.
Bill
Bill Bonham, the batter, swings and misses. He missed one pitch earlier. So it's a strike 2 count on Bill Bonham. He has doubled and scored the only Cubs run. Next pitch to him is fouled off on the right side. It'll be Bonham, De Jesus, and Gross to face Christenson. The magic number is 1. The Phillies trying to wrap it up this afternoon. Bonham takes a pitch just outside, and the count is 2-2. Ball 2, strike 2 to Bonham. And the next pitch, ground ball to the shortstop, Boa. He has it. Over to Hebner, and Bonham's out by a couple of steps, 1 down. Leadoff batter, Ivan De Jesus. Coming up, he's 1 for 2 with a single. De Jesus batting .262. Larry Christenson has won 17, lost 6 on the season. And the first pitch to De Jesus. Strike 1 called. De Jesus fouls the breaking ball back. 2 strikes. Have a very small crowd, but a very vocal crowd here today. Two-strike pitch. Base hit, left field. De Jesus ripped one between third and short. So De Jesus, his second hit of the game. He's on first, 1 down, and the batter, center fielder Greg Gross. Gross has struck out, got on base on an error. He's officially 0 for 2, batting .314. It was his little short fly ball that Luzinski dropped for an error and allowed the Cubs to score a run. Gross takes the fastball over, strike 1. Gross hit a home run here yesterday, right into the center field seats.
Cubs don't have too many guys that like to run, Whitey, but De Jesus is one of them. They like to hit and run with Gross and De Jesus, too.
There he goes. Gross swings and misses, and Boone can't make the throw. De Jesus had a good jump. That's his second stolen base in this game. He has 23 now. Looked like hit and run that time, but Gross missed the pitch. For some reason, Boone couldn't get a throw off. 2 strikes on Gross. Pitch on the way is outside. Christenson checks the runner at second. Pitch on the way. Low. 2-2 the count. Andy Olson, plate umpire, wants to look at the baseball. It's a cloudy, overcast day here in Chicago. The temperature around 60 degrees. We have a little breeze blowing out towards the right field bleachers. Ball 2, strike 2 to Gross. Phillies lead at 2-1, bottom of the 5th inning. Pitch on the way. Ground ball towards third. Bounces up for Schmidt. Over to first. Gross is out. De Jesus has to hold at second. So 2 down. And Larry Biittner, the batter. Biittner has walked and popped out. He's 0 for 1, batting .304. Fellow had a big day yesterday. Single, 2 doubles, and a home run. Cubs pounded out 21 hits yesterday. Have 4 here today. Phillies only have 3. Christenson sets. Pitch is fouled away. Strike 1 on Biittner. Phillies scored 2 runs in the second inning. The Cubs are running the third. That's how we stand. Pirates are playing the Mets tonight in Pittsburgh, and of course, Phillies win this. It won't make any difference what the Pirates do anymore. 1 strike pitch. Fouled away on the left side. Strike 2 on Biittner. come, Wheels, that when we're off the air, I can't keep you quiet. On the air, I don't get a word out of you.
Boy, you told me if you don't have anything to say, don't say anything. So
well, why don't you keep that philosophy off the air? You never have that much to say off the air.
Well, think how much you'd miss if you and I weren't constantly at each other off the air, right? I mean, you would miss it. That would be a great void in your life.
Yeah, you're right.
Your second life.
I really need that. Here's a line drive center field. Maddox back and makes the catch. Good play by Garry Maddox. Biittner hit it hard, but he's out of there, and that'll retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left on. At the end of 5 full innings, it's the Phillies 2, the Cubs 1.
And now it's time for a tasty cake great moment in baseball.
1-1 pitch to Schmidt. Swing, a long drive. That is going to be well out of here. Towering home run, and out of the ballpark and out of the street. So it's now a 13-4 ball game.
That's how it started, and here's the end of it.
Here's the pitch to Schmidt. Drilled toward left field. It's in the alley, and it is gone. That's a home run for Schmidt. He has hit 4 straight. He drilled it. It was not his hardest hit of the day, but he's got his 4th consecutive home run.
And that's how it sounded last year when Mike Schmidt joined an exclusive club by belting 4 consecutive homers in 1 game. It's the kind of extra performance fans have come to expect from Mike. Just like Tasty Cake fans have come to expect consistent great taste from Tasty Cake. What gives Tasty Cake its reputation? It's all the good ingredients Tasty Cake insists on fresh baking into everything they bake to make them all the very best there is.
These are the top stories from the KYW newsroom. A bill that would appropriate $300 million to Pennsylvania's professional schools in trouble in the legislature. One portion of that measure that would have granted money to the Jefferson Medical School in Philadelphia failed on an initial vote. Talks underway again on the dispute between the school district and its striking custodians and bus drivers. Testimony has begun in the perjury trial of Stanley Applebaum. Wall Street, the market down in moderately active trading as of 3:30 this afternoon. KYW News Time, 3:45.
And brought in at great expense from Philadelphia, Harry Kellis with us. Harry?
All right, thank you, Rich. Good afternoon, everyone. Larry Bowa, the batter, takes a bottom pitch high for a ball. 1-0 the count. Bowa has singled and grounded out. Phillies leading 2-1. Hoping to wrap it up here today and pop the champagne corks. Bowa, good cut at a fastball, but he fouled it back. 1-1 the count to Larry Bowa.
Harry, you don't sound like you're up at all for this game.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a frustrating experience riding on that flight here and saying, go faster, go faster. 1-1 pitch to Bowa, outside for a ball, 2-1. Then we finally arrive at O'Hare Airport, and they could not find a gate area open, so we sat on the runway for 10 minutes. 2-1 pitch, grounded deep short, off the glove of De Jesus, in the left field for a base hit for Bowa. Bowa's second hit of the ball game. You can imagine just sitting on that runway knowing this game is going on.
Well, that's normal for O'Hare Field.
Yeah,
right. you get here, sometimes you get here and you're so happy you're here on time, and then you sit there for half an hour while they try to find a gate because this airport's so busy.
Here's Mike Schmidt. He was fly to deep right and struck out. Bowa at first base, nobody out. 6th inning, Phillies lead 2-1. Bonham stretches the pitch to Schmidt. Swinging a hard ground, just foul down the third base side. 1 strike to count to Schmidt. Dark, dreary day, but it certainly could brighten up for Phillies faithful should the Phils hang on here. Leading 2-1. Bonham stretches. Throw to first base, and Bowa gets back. One strike to count to Mike Schmidt. 1 strike pitch to Schmidt. He is inside for a ball. It's 1-1. De Jesus way over in the hole for Mike Schmidt. The outfield swung around to the left. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Look out. Schmidt hit by a pitch ball. So the Phillies have 2 men on base and nobody out. Mike hit by a pitch. Bowa moves up to second base. Guess you mentioned, Chris, that Mike is celebrating his birthday today.
Number 28. Yeah, that's nice age for Mike Schmidt. 28, knowing that all the years he still has left in the Phillies uniform, the things he's accomplished already, and he's just 28 years old. It's amazing.
Not a very good present presented him by Bill Bonham. Fastball to the arm.
He doesn't hit many people, Bonham. We were talking a little while ago, Harry, that one of the knocks on Bonham is that he doesn't come in on right-handed hitters enough. And that time, he pitched Schmidt in the pitch right before that, and then that one he hit him with, so maybe he's starting to do it a little bit more.
Here's Greg Luzinski, is struck out and flied out to deep right. Stretch by Bonham. Look back at Boa. No one covering, no throw. Paul Russell begins throwing in the Cub bullpen. Now the stretch by Bonham. Pitch to Luzinski. Pops a foul behind the Phillies dugout down the first base side. One strike to Greg Luzinski. Bull coming into the game was 4 for 10 off Bonham, including a homer. Here's the one-strike pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt for a ball. 1-1 the count. Greg had wheeled around as if to bunt. Ball and a strike. Unusual to see Luzinski bunting.
He bunts 2 balls in the batting cage before BP every night, and that's the only time you ever see him bunt.
Now the stretch by Bonham. Big lead by Boa at second base. Pitch to Luzinski. Swings and a base hit to left center field. Boa rounding third. The throw comes back into third base. Boa scores. Phillies lead it 3-1. Greg Luzinski, a line single to left center. Boa coming on to score. Schmidt stopping at second base, and the Phils have a 3-1 lead in the 6th. That'll bring on Richie Hebner. Hebner has walked and scored a run and popped up. Now Hebner looking down at third base coach Phil DeMars. Nobody out, 2 men on base. Phillies out in front, 3-1. Here's Bonham's stretch. Pitch to Hebner, swing, a line drive foul. That scatters him in the Phillies bullpen. 1 strike to count to Rich Hebner.
Hit a ball in that bullpen. It's tough not to hit a body with all those people down there.
They are jammed in down in that bullpen area. 1 strike to count to Hebner. Bonham has a sign from Gordon. Here's the stretch. 1 strike pitch to Rich is high and inside for a ball, 1-1. Mike Schmidt at second, Greg Luzinski at first for the Bull RBI number 128 on the year. One pitch. Hebner is bunting down the third base side. A good bunt. Ontiveros to first base in time to get Rich. And the runners move up. Schmidt to third, Luzinski to second. It'll be a sacrifice for Richie Hebner moving the runners up. Hebner got it by Bonham, who slipped while coming off the mound trying to field the ball, but Ontiveros made the play. Philly runners. Schmidt at third base. Luzinski at second with 1 down, and that'll bring on Garry Maddox.
I think they're going to walk him, Harry, with the base open. Bob Boone has been a hot hitter lately, but he's still a double play threat, and that's what they're going to do.
Garry Maddox will get the intentional walk. Second walk given up by Bonham. This will load the bases with Phils and bring on Bob Boone. The Maddox gets the intentional walk. Phillies have him jammed with 1 out. Bob Boone, the batter. Boone is singled to knock in a run. Scored the Phillies' second run. And he is grounded out. Bases loaded with Phils. 1 down. A run in. Phillies leading 3-1, 6th inning. Bonham will work from the stretch. And the pitch to Boone. High and inside with a fastball. 1-0 to Boone. Stretch by Bonham. 1-0 pitch. inside with a fastball. 2-0 to Bob Boone. Paul Russell continues to throw in the Cub bullpen. Bill Bonham steps off the rubber, wants Gordon to go over the signs again. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball, bounce foul, back behind the plate. 2-1 the count to Boone. Mike Schmidt at third. He was hit by a pitch ball. Luzinski at second. He singled. Garry Maddox at first, intentionally walked. One down, a run in. Stretch by Bonham. 2-1 pitch, low for a ball. It's 3-1 to Bob Boone. Bonham must come in with a good pitch here. Bases loaded, one out. Boone will look for a fastball that he can hit.
That's what drives managers crazy when they order an intentional walk and then the pitcher sets up another one with a deep count right after that.
Stretch by Bonham. 3-1 pitch to Boone. Bouncing ball to third base. Ontiveros has only one play to first. He gets Boone. On the play, Schmidt scores. Phillies lead it 4-1. Boone hit a high bounding ball. Ontiveros had no shot at a double play. So Boone drives in his second run of the game. Luzinski moves to third. Maddox to second. And with 2 out, that'll bring on Ted Sizemore. Larry Christenson waiting on deck. First base again is open, and the Cubs might elect to walk Sizemore. They'll walk him. Ted Sizemore will get the intentional walk, and they'll pitch to Larry Christenson. Phillies leading it by a score of 4-1. 6th inning. Ted Sizemore getting the intentional walk. And Bonham will work on Larry Christenson. Here's ball 4. Sizemore trots down to first base. So the Phillies have him reloaded. 2 down, and here's Larry Christenson with a chance to help himself. Christenson has grounded back to the mound, and, well, actually, it was a bunt back to the mound. Got a sacrifice on it as Bob Boone came in to score. The Phillies' second run, and he is grounded out. The pitch to LC, swings, and he misses at a breaking ball. Christenson was swinging fastball, and he got a breaking ball. 1 strike to him. Here's Bonham's 1-strike pitch, and it's low for a ball, 1-1. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 runs in. Phillies lead it by a count of 4-1. 1-1 pitch to Christenson. Fastball is over for a strike call. So Bonham in front of Christenson, a ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck. No, he fouled it off. In and out of the glove of Mike Gordon, so Christenson is still alive. In and out of the glove of rookie catcher Gordon. Christenson still has life with a count 1-2 to him. One-two pitch. Swing. He chased a low breaking ball, and he struck him out. Christenson goes down swinging. But the Phillies send 8 to the plate here in the 6th, scoring 2 runs. 2 hits in the inning. No errors and 3 men left. And at the end of 5 1/2, it's Phillies 4, Cubs 1. Bobby Murcer leads off for the Cubs, bottom of the 6th, takes the ball inside, and a fastball is a strike, a foul tip. It hit his bat. 1-1 the count to Murcer, leading off for the Cubs, bottom of the 6th. 1-1 pitch. Fastball is low, and it's 2-1. Phillies lead the ball game by a score of 4-1, bottom half of the 6th inning. Christenson's 2-1 pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss, 2-2. Christenson, as Chris Wheeler pointed out, I understand today has thrown very, very few sliders. That's the pitch that seems to aggravate that blister on the index finger of his pitching hand. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a very high pop-up in the infield. Who wants it? Sizemore and Schmidt are both there. Sizemore makes the catch. Murcer is out, 1 down.
Let's pause for station identification on the Phil's Baseball Network.
This is KYW News Radio 1060, Philadelphia. AccuWeather saying variable cloudiness this evening with 1 or 2 showers in the area.
Here's Steve Ontiveros. He is struck out in singles. The pitch on the way to Ontiveros, fastball high for a ball. LC has a good live fastball.
He's thrown exclusively fastball changeup, Harry, almost the whole game.
Pitch on the way, another fastball is high, and it's 2-0.
I think he's thrown maybe 1 or 2 curveballs and a couple sliders, but like you said, he just doesn't want to aggravate that finger with the slider.
2-0 pitch, fastball, grounded fair down the right field line, going toward the corner. Ontiveros on his way to second. It's juggled by McBride. He's going to end up at third base. That'll probably be scored a double and an error on Bake McBride. What it is, a double and an error on McBride, and Ontiveros at third base with 1 out. That'll bring on Gene Clines, the left fielder, twice his flight out to right field. That's hit number 5 given up by Christenson. The hits are even at 5 apiece, but the Phillies lead the game by a score of 4-1. Here's the windup, and the pitch declines. Fastball high. Snap throw to third. Ontiveros gets back. 1-0 the count to Gene Clines. Phillies infield will stay back. They'll concede the run with a 4-1 lead. Here's Christenson's 1-0 pitch. Swing and a drive to deep center field. Maddox going away back. Can't get it. It's over his head and off the wall. Ontiveros scores. Clines at second with a double. And it's a 4-2 ball game. The Phillies lead it. A 2-base hit over the head of Garry Maddox. And that'll bring on Manny Trillo. Trillo is twice fly to right field. Tug McGraw starts throwing in the Phillies bullpen. Phillies lead 4-2, bottom half of the 6th inning. Christenson's pitch to Trillo, a breaking ball, misses low for a ball. 1-0 pitch to Trillo. Fastball pop foul into the upper deck. Ball and a strike to Manny Trillo. Back-to-back doubles that produced a Chicago run here in the 6th inning, following a pop-up by Bobby Murcer. 4-2, Phil's lead. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Change is high for a ball. It's 2-1. Now the stretch by Christenson. 2-1 pitch. Another change. High again. Ball 3, 3-1. Phillies trying to wrap it up today with a magic number of 1. Phillies trying to wrap it up today with a magic number of 1. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Fastball high, ball 4. He walked it. So the Cubs have 2 men on base, 1 out. Second walk given up by Christenson. Pitching coach Ray Ripplemeyer coming out of the Phillies dugout. McGraw just got up. So I doubt if a pitching change will be made at this moment. Mike Gordon, the catcher, the hitter, he is grounded out and struck out.
I think Rip's just out there, as Harry said, just to stall around a little bit, because Tug McGraw's probably only thrown about 10, 12 pitches down there right now, and they're probably going to give Larry another batter. He might be starting to have a little trouble with that finger. You take one of your pitches away from a guy, and it really makes it tough for him to compete, and he's done a good job out there today, but like we pointed out, he's not able to throw that slider like he wants to, and that's one of his outstanding pitches, and you take it away, and he's going to struggle a little.
Clines at second base, Trillo at first base, 1 out. Here's Mike Gordon, switch hitting catcher. Batting left against Christensen. Here's the pitch to him. Fastball is high for a ball. 1-0 to Gordon. Hit .237 at Wichita this year. Here's the 1-0 pitch. High with a fastball. Ball 2. It's 2-0. Bill Bonham is scheduled to hit next, but they have Paul Russell up in the bullpen. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a drive to left field. Greg Luzinski is there waiting, makes the catch. Gordon is out, 2 down. Cub runner is hold at first and second, and Jose Cardinal is coming out of the Chicago dugout to pinch hit for Bonham. Fines at second base, Trillo at first base. Jose Cardinal hitting .241, 3 homers, 18 runs batted in. 2 outs, 2 men on base, a run in. 6th inning, Phillies lead it 4-2.
Cardinal is a big fan favorite in this town, but he's been hurt a lot this year and hasn't played much, and the word is that he's on his way out of Chicago when this season wraps up. But he's a dangerous hitter, and he's always been a good hitter with men on base, and Christenson will have to be very careful with him.
Cardinal has bounced around with a lot of ball clubs in the major leagues. Played with San Francisco, California, Cleveland, St. Louis, Milwaukee. Seemed to have found a home here in Chicago. He's played the last 5 years here and had some good seasons. But as Chris mentioned, he has tailed off this year. Cardinal steps in. Clines at second base, Trillo at first base, 2 outs. There's a stretch by Christenson. The pitch to Cardinal. Swing and a pop-up foul might be playable. Hebner, a long run, makes the catch right in front of the stand. Richie Hebner had a long run for the ball. He was worried about not only the wall fronting the stands, but also Bob Boone. But he pulled off a glove hand stab, and Cardinal is out. In the 6th, 1 run for the Cubs, 2 hits, 1 error, 2 left. Andy Murcer will be coming along at the end of 6. It's Phil's 4, Cubs 2.
The Cubs' new pitcher is Paul Russell as they pinch hit for Bonham last half inning. So the Phils are now facing right-hander Paul Russell, who got his first ever victory against the Phillies last week at the Vet. Russell has a 5-6 record, a 3.98 earned run average. His first pitch to McBride is a fastball outside ball 1. Bonham worked the first 6 innings, gave up 5 hits and 4 runs. Phillies lead the ball game 4-2. Here's a line drive base hit to center field. McBride stroked it hard back through the middle for a base hit. So Bake keeps his hitting streak going. He has batted safely now in 12 straight ball games. Paul Russell greeted with a line single by Bake McBride, and here's Larry Bowa. Larry 2 for 3 today and has scored one of the Phillies' runs. Russell stretches. He swings and pops a little foul back out of play. The Cubs were expecting a bunt. Ontiveros at third was way in on the grass. One strike on Larry Bowa, switch hitter batting left-handed. Phillies trying to make that magic number disappear. Throw to first base, and Bake just gets back. Bake kind of sidestepped his way back to the bag. Another throw to first, and again Bake gets back, and the ball bounds away from Biittner. One strike on Bowa. Russell stretches. Now again he goes to first base. And McBride goes back again. Well, Bake, of course, is always a threat to steal. He has stolen 15 straight bases. Pitch on the way to Larry. Line drive, center field, base hit. McBride will hold at second base. The Phils have runners at first and second to start the 7th inning. Bowa follows McBride's single with one of his own, and the Phils have runners at first and second. Cubs are getting more action in their bullpen. One of those up and throwing is Dave Roberts for Chicago. The other is Dennis Lamp. Here's Mike Schmidt celebrating his 28th birthday, and Phillies would have the biggest birthday party in Mike's life. He wins this ball game today. Phillies win the ball game.
Certainly the wettest. Yeah. Boy, that is some seed.
Pitch on the way to Mike. He puts down a bunt. Fielded on one hop by Russell. He goes to third in time. Pretty good play by Russell. Ontiveros over there at third, and they get McBride, and the sacrifice fails to work. Schmidt is safe on a fielder's choice.
Well, McBride couldn't get a good jump on that ball because Schmidt bunted the ball in the air, and it was in the vicinity of the pitcher, and he couldn't tell whether he was going to catch it or not, and he got a bad jump off second and was an easy out at third base.
That's the first out of the inning. Still runners at first and second. Boa at second, Schmidt at first. And Greg Luzinski, who knocked in his 128th run in his last at-bat on a sharply hit single to center field. Pitch to the ball. It bounces and away from Gordon. The runners are each going to go up a base.
It's a wild one, wild pitch.
Wild pitch charge to Paul Russell, and the runners go to second and third, and I'll bet you they'll walk Luzinski here.
Well, I don't know. They might. They might walk him, but they might go at him, too, with the left-handed hitter Hebner on deck. I don't know. Greg has had fairly good success against this guy, so we'll have to wait and see. They're going to talk it over. They could walk him here and bring Robertson to pitch to Hebner as another alternative.
It's okay, Chris, if you want to hedge. I went on record.
I don't think they're going to walk him.
Okay, go ahead.
Unless Herman's going to bring in the left-handed pitcher. That's the only reason I would walk him in this spot.
Conversation is over, and here comes Herman Franks out of the dugout. They were stalling for time, and he may... Well, we'll see what he's going to do here. No use guessing anymore. Let's just wait and see, but there's a good chance they're going to make a pitching move here.
As long as we're guessing, he's going to bring in the left-hander, walk Luzinski, and then try to pitch to Hebner, and the Phillies might hit for Richie with Davy Johnson or something like that.
Yeah, here comes the left-hander in, so a pitching change here at Wrigley Field, Chicago. Phillies lead this ball game 4-2, and they're threatening for more in the seventh inning. We'll be back following this message.
Thinking of college? Maybe you're starting. Maybe you're returning. Perhaps you're planning to take a few courses to help you in your present career. Well, widen your world with Widener. At Widener College, you can take day or evening classes, graduate or undergraduate, and courses leading to degrees in art and sciences and engineering, nursing, management, and economics. Widener College will offer graduate evening courses on the Brandywine College campus, leading to the degree of Master of Business Administration and Management. Students will have program options in manpower management, finance, marketing, plus health and medical services administration. The Brandywine campus is just north of Wilmington on Route 202. That's Concord Pike. For additional information on this new Widener College offering, write Widener College Brandywine Program, Chester, Pennsylvania. Or phone Brandywine direct at area 302-478-4400. Widen your world with Widener by phoning area 302-478-4400.
Left-hander Dave Roberts is taking over the hill for Chicago, their third pitcher, as Paul Russell lasts only 1/3 of an inning and gives up 2 hits. And he is responsible for the 2 men who are left on base. Well, remember that the final games of the regular season coming up at the Vet later this week, beginning night after tomorrow against the Montreal Expos at 7:35. Friday night's ball game will begin at 8:05. And on Saturday, 7:35, Fan Appreciation Night. Lots of fun and prizes. And Sunday will be Banner Day at the Vet. Remember to have your banners ready at Gate H at the ballpark at 11:30 in the morning. And the 5 best banners will each receive 2 tickets to a playoff game. Well, you were right except for one thing. It's Ollie Brown out in the on-deck circle instead of Davy Johnson, but nobody's perfect, Chris. And Greg Luzinski is being given an intentional walk. So the Phillies will have the bases loaded with 1 out. And Ollie Brown will get a chance to hit for the first time since the 18th of September.
Richie Hebner doesn't believe it yet because he's still standing there. There he goes.
So here's OB, Ollie Brown, coming up. Ollie has been used very sparingly this year. He's got a .246 batting average, 69 at-bats, and 17 hits. Ollie, as a pinch hitter, is batting .233, 7 hits and 30 times up. He has knocked in 5 runs as a pinch hitter. So So here's Ollie Brown to bat with the bases loaded and one down in the 7th inning. Facing a left-hander, Dave Roberts. He'll work from the stretch. The pitch to Ollie, swing and a miss, strike one.
Roberts is basically a sinker-slider pitcher, Andy. He'll throw the fastball to tails to the right-handed hitter, and he'll throw the slider in, and that's basically what he'll throw. Once in a while, a curveball, but sinker-slider is what you'll see from him.
Next pitch to Ollie, it's a foul, tapped off the plate. 0-2, the count on Ollie Brown. Left-hander Dave Roberts working to Ollie Brown in a very important situation. The Phillies do lead it by 2, but they'd feel a lot better if they get a couple of these in. The 0-2 pitch, high and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brown. Roberts stretches. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Pop-up, foul, out of play. Chicago White Sox 7, Minnesota 5 at the end of 6 innings. Richie Zisk has hit 2 home runs in that ball game. A ball and 2 strikes to Brown. Here's Roberts' next delivery. Swing and a miss. He strikes out. Roberts strikes out Brown, second out of the inning. Here comes Herman Franks out of that Chicago dugout again. Garry Maddox is due up. He may come on with a right-hander here. Roberts got the big strikeout that Franks wanted, but he may not trust him to pitch to Maddox, and he is making a change. Dennis Lamp is coming in the ball game. We've got another pitching change here at Wrigley Field with the Phillies leading the ball game 4-2. We'll be back after this message.
Once upon a time, there was a happy little family.
Everybody happy?
Happy as a lark. Happy as Clam.
Indeed, they were the happiest little family you would ever care to meet, until it came time to get in their car.
Look, just get in the car.
Nah, I don't want to go. Do I have to?
This is work.
What made them unhappy was that they could never seem to find a car that was right for them. It was either too big and expensive.
Maybe we could skip the house payment this month.
Or too small and uncomfortable.
It's small in here.
Ma, your elbow's in my eye.
Sorry, honey.
Then one day, Father happily announced he had found a car that was just right for them, a Buick Century Custom. Being a midsize, it was neither too big nor too small for them. And being a Buick, it had a V6 engine, lots of room and comfort, and the famous Buick ride. And that pleased them to no end.
I'm pleased as punch.
I'm tickled pink. I have to go to the bathroom.
All of which proves one thing. Maybe money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you a Buick Century Custom, which for a lot of people is pretty much the same thing.
Comes on with their third pitcher of the inning is Dennis Lamp. A right-hander comes in to do the pitching now with Garry Maddox due at the plate. Lamp started the ball game against the Phillies last week. He is 0-1 so far this year, pitching in only his 10th ball game, a 4.66 earned run average. Maddox to face Dennis Lamp with the bases loaded and 2 out. Phillies lead the ball game 4-2.
Well, no Pittsburgh Pirate fan can accuse Herman Franks of not giving it all he has. He's really managing this inning and doing everything he can to keep the Phillies out of a big inning, and so far he's done it.
That's right, because this inning started with back-to-back singles, and nobody has scored. Here's the young right-hander. He'll use the full windup. The pitch to Maddox. Line drive, base hit to left field. 2 runs are going to score. Bow is across the plate. Here comes Schmidt. He slides and scores, and the Phillies lead the ball game 6-2. Big single by Garry Maddox, and he drives in a pair.
I use a little reverse black cat statement there. Big hit for Garry Maddox, right, Andy, in a 12-game hitting streak, and Garry jumped right on that first pitch from Dennis Lamp, a fastball up, and ripped it into left field, and 2 big runs for the Phillies.
Greg Luzinski at second base following the hit by Maddox. And the batter is Bob Boone. He takes low, ball 1. The 2 runs will be charged to Paul Russell. Boone fouls it off. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Phillies have a 4-run lead in this ball game. Lamb stretches. Here's the 1-1 to Boone. Ground ball, third base. It skips right on by Ontiveros. Luzinski is being waved around. He will score. Maddox on into third base. Boone into second, and he is safe. Close play at second base. Boone almost overslid the bag. Phillies lead the ball game now 7-2.
Boone gave him one of his trick slides there where he goes in on his belly and fades away and then comes back and grabs the bag, and he sort of, the dirt kind of stopped him halfway through the slide. He just reached back and grabbed it. He was almost out. If Trillo had stayed with him, he would have had him.
Double all the way.
They're ruling that a double for Boone. He'll get an RBI. That's his 3rd run batted into the ball game. That particular run was charged to Dave Roberts, who gave the intentional walk. Now here comes another intentional walk. They're going to pass Sizemore to pitch to Christenson with a base open, and the bases will be loaded again for the Phillies as Sizemore draws his 2nd intentional walk in the ball game, and it's the 4th intentional walk the Cubs have given today. So the Phillies have taken a lead of 7-2 here in the 7th inning as they try to reduce the magic number to nothing. Larry Christenson will bat. Bases loaded, 2 away. Maddox the runner at third. Boone with a double, the runner at second. Sizemore the runner at first. Bob Boone has played an important role in this game today. Driven in runs on 3 different at-bats. Here's Christenson, officially 0 for 2. He also drove in a run on a sacrifice bunt. Swing and a miss, strike 1. One strike pitch to Christenson, swing and a miss. 3 runs in for the Phillies. Lamp winds. Here's the 2-strike pitch to Christenson. Outside, ball 1. Tug McGraw continuing to warm up in the Phillies bullpen. The pitch to Larry. It's a fly ball hit very hard into deep right center field. Way back there it is. Gone! A grand slam home run for Christenson. And the Phillies lead the ball game 11-2.
All right.
Larry Christenson. That's his 3rd home run of the year and his 1st career grand slam.
What a shot, too. Boy, did he crush that ball way out of here to right center field. And I guess it's all over. That was just a tremendous shot by Larry Christenson.
That makes it official, Chris. An 11-2 Phillies lead. And they can start loosening up those corks because the celebration will take place this afternoon. Larry Christenson clears the bases with a grand slammer. All 4 of the runs are charged to Dennis Lamp. Here's Bake McBride at the plate. Ground ball bouncing toward Trillo. Picks it up and throws him out, and the inning is over, but the Phillies have batted around, and they have had a big, big inning. 7 runs in the inning for the Phillies. 5 hits in the inning. Nobody left on base. At the end of 6.5, it's 11-2 Phillies. Tommy Hutton comes on to play first base for the Phillies as we go to the last of the 7th inning. And the batter will be DeJesus. He takes a strike call from Larry Christenson, and Larry's got to be pumped up now. He's pitching a fine ball game. But the grand slam home run, and actually Christenson now with 5 runs batted in the ball game. Low a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. DeJesus 2 out of 3 on the afternoon, plus a pair of stolen bases. And 11-2 Phillies lead. Larry winds, and here's the pitch on the way. Strike called in the outside corner. We'd like to remind you that we do have a camera in the locker room for the post-game celebration today. And Richie's going down there, and Harry Callis will be down there. Here's a fly ball to left field. Greg Luzinski headed toward the line, and he watches this one go foul and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the entire locker room celebration will be televised today. We invite you to join us on television for that. We are also going to carry a portion of it on the radio side as well. Here's a ground ball back through the middle, fielded by Sizemore. Throws to Hutton. Safe. What a great job Hutton did. He did a split at first base to try to pick that off. That'll be an infield hit for DeJesus, his 3rd hit of the ball game. Hit number 7 for the Cubs. So on our Tasty Cake wrap-up show today, we will not have the standard format of a player interview, but rather the locker room celebration if this ball game stays the way it is now and the Phillies go on to win the Eastern Division title. Left-handed batting Greg Gross. Pitch on the way to Greg. Fastball, outside corner, a strike. Larry stretches. Here's the pitch. Fastball high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch on the way, and it's a hard hit ball to center field. Maddox was shaded toward left center. He's not going to get it. It's going to roll all the way to the warning track. Ivan DeJesus will score. Heading for third base is Gross, and he gets in standing up with a triple. And the Phillies' lead is cut to 11-3. A triple for Gross, and his 30th run batted in. That'll bring up Larry Biittner. Conference at the mound. Bob Boone, Ted Sizemore talking with Christenson. Tug McGraw is up in the bullpen. Phillies had an 8-run inning earlier this year, so their inning today was their 2nd largest of the season, as they scored 7 last half inning. Biittner 0 for 2 and a walk. Let's pause for station identification. The Phillies Baseball Network.
This is KYW Philadelphia. AccuWeather says it'll be variably cloudy this evening with a shower or 2. Right now, 75 degrees and cloudy at Independence Mall. It's 4:33.
Biittner, the batter, sends a fly ball into left field. It's caught by Luzinski, and Gross is going to stay at third base. Ball was not very deep, and the ball uncorked a pretty good throw. I think Gross made the right decision, or the Cubs did. Peanuts Lowry, their coach. That's the first out of the inning as Biittner flies out to left, and Bobby Murcer will bat. Gross at third base with 1 out. A run in for the Cubs, but a commanding 11-3 lead for the Phillies. Here's Murcer. He has not had a hit today. Larry Christenson using the full windup. High ball 1. Here's a fly ball to center field. This should be deep enough to get Gross in. Maddox in position to catch it. He makes the catch. There will be no throw to the plate. A sacrifice fly RBI for Murcer. And the Cubs get another run. It's 11-4 Phillies. RBI number 88 for Bobby Murcer this year. Phillies lead at 11-4. That's the 2nd out of the inning. The batter is Steve Ontiveros. Steve 2 out of 3, a double and a single. He struck out his first time up. Base is empty now, 2 outs. Christenson winds. Pitch to Ontiveros. A strike right at the knees. Good pitch. Christenson ready, and he pops the foul back out of play. Tomorrow's going to be the final home game for the Chicago Cubs this year. They close their season at Pittsburgh. Phillies, of course, will be back to close it out against the Montreal Expos. Christenson misses with a fastball. 1-2 the count to Ontiveros. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. Outside, ball 2, 2-2. Cubs never led in this ball game. The Phillies jumped right out in front. Here's a hard hit ball, backhanded by Boa. It almost staggered him. Larry makes the throw across in time for the out. Very fine play by Boa. Cubs get a pair of runs in the 7th inning on 2 hits, and nobody left on base. At the end of 7, the Phillies lead it 11-4. Well, this This is it, fans. Time for another Daily News home run payoff, the game that puts the Phillies at bat to win you up to $10,000. Yes, $10,000 because the Daily News is extending the double payoff right through the playoffs. A Phillies homer this inning could win you $2,000 or $10,000 for a grand slam. But here is important news. Thursday will be the last day that the home run payoff entry coupon will appear in the Daily News. That's this Thursday, your last chance to get in on the fun. Here's Larry Bowa sending a ground ball out to second base, and it is fielded by Trillo, and Bowa is out. That's bad news for Paul McCollum of Winton Street in Philadelphia. Bowa was up there representing Mr. McCollum. One down in the Phillies' eighth inning, and here is our birthday boy, Mike Schmidt. He'll be batting and swinging for $2,000 for Richard Piper of High Street in Enola, Pennsylvania. That's very close to my old hometown, Lemoyne, PA. Mike takes inside, ball one. Schmidt is officially 0 for 3 in this game, but he has been on base twice and scored 2 runs. Dennis Lamp winds. Here's the next pitch, outside and low, 2-0. Lamp is the 4th Chicago pitcher to work in this ball game. Swing and a miss by Schmidt. 2 balls and 1 strike. The starter, Bill Bonham, stands to be the losing pitcher as it figures at the moment, with the Phillies leading this ball game 11-4. They were ahead when he left the ball game. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Schmidt. He fouls it back. Mike with 15 career home runs here at Wrigley Field, including 4 in one game early last season. White Sox have gotten another run in the 7th inning. They lead that ball game 8-5 over Minnesota. Twins batting in the 7th. Here's a ball off the end of Schmidt's bat, tapped off the plate, foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Richie Zisk with a pair of home runs for the White Sox today, numbers 28 and 29. Phillies with a 7-run inning the last time they batted. Here's a long drive by Schmidt way down the left side. Is it fair or foul? It is a fair ball. It hits the foul pole, and we've got a winner in the Daily News home run payoff. Career home run number 16 for Schmidt in this ballpark, and for Mike, number 38 this season. And a $2,000 winner in the payoff. Congratulations to Richard Piper of High Street in Enola. Phillies lead the ball game 12-4.
Now, Schmidt, he just loves to hit in this ballpark, and he really jacked that. And the only thing was whether it was going to be fair or foul, and it hit high off the screen right above the 355 sign. And another home run for Schmidt at Wrigley.
Greg Luzinski takes a strike on the outside corner. Greg is batting for Paige Silverlein of North 46th Street in Philadelphia, and swinging for $2,000 in the Daily News home run payoff. Swing and a miss. Schmidt now ties his home run total of last year. He finished last season with 38. Pitch to Greg is fouled away. 2 strikes the count on Luzinski. Lamp winds. Here's the 2-strike pitch. It's outside, 1-2. Greg has an RBI in this game, his 128th. Here's a pop-up right in the middle of the diamond. Manny Trillo coming in from second base, and he grabs it for the out. Second out of the inning as the ball pops out. And 4 tickets to a game next season will be sent to Paige Silverlein of Philadelphia. Tommy Hutton coming up and getting his first at-bat of the ball game. Tommy will be swinging for Charlotte Hiddleston of Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Tommy Hutton came in last inning to play at first base. He takes low, ball 1. Tommy batting at .269, 2 home runs, and 11 runs batted in. Tim McCarver and I took Hutton to our very favorite seafood restaurant last night. We had a great time. Here's a ground ball off the glove at first base of Biittner. It trickles into the outfield, and Tommy Hutton is safe at first base. Hard hit ball off the glove of Biittner at first, and Hutton is safe. 4 tickets to a game next season to Charlotte Hiddleston of Coatesville.
Base hit, a single.
Give Tommy Hutton the base hit on that ball. It was stung. That's the 12th hit of the ball game for the Phillies. The batter is Garry Maddox. Garry swinging for $2,000 for Louis Palco of Philadelphia. Garry had a big hit in that 7-run seventh. Drove in 2 runs on a bases-loaded single. Outside, ball 1 to Garry. He's 1 for 3 today with an intentional walk. The magic number is shrinking fast. The 1-0 pitch to Maddox. Hard hit, but to Trillo, and he can't get it. He nonchalanted that ball, and it went under his glove into right field. Hutton goes to third base, and Maddox is safe at first. Manny Trillo gets a well-deserved error on that one. Not because the ball wasn't hard hit, it was, but it was right to him. And Manny pulled up on that ball. Score that one an error all the way. 4 tickets to a game next season to Louis Palco of Philadelphia. Runners at first and third with 2 down. Bob Boone, the hitter. Bob will be swinging for $2,000 for Catherine Sweeney of Shawmont Avenue. One of your neighbors, Chris.
Yeah, all right, Catherine. See if we can get one for you.
Pitch to Boone is a called strike.
In the heart of downtown Roxborough, Upper Roxborough.
One of Philadelphia's garden spots.
Lovely, lovely community. I love
I used
it.
to live in Roxborough when I first moved to Philadelphia. Next pitch to Boone, outside. Now they won't let me in anymore.
It's a very nice neighborhood, you know. You got to keep the riffraff out of there.
Yeah. You know, Boone has played an important role in this ball game. Boone has 3 RBIs today in 3 different at-bats. Single, double, and ground ball. Here, Boone, he fouls one away. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Phillies said last week when they faced Dennis Lamp they were looking forward to seeing him again. He gave up a lot of hits in that game, and the Phillies were in one of those little slumps that they were going through last week, and they said that they thought they'd get him the next time they saw him, and amen.
You're just getting out of work and tuning on the radio. It's 12-4 Phillies. There's a fly ball center field. Greg Rowe should get this one. Greg coming in, and he takes it, and this inning is over as Boone flies out, and 4 tickets to a game next season to Catherine Sweeney of Philadelphia. But the Phillies get another run on the 38th home run of the year by Mike Schmidt. 2 hits in the inning, a Chicago error, and 2 men left on base. Tune us in tomorrow afternoon, fans. You could win up to $10,000 in the Daily News home run payoff. At the end of 7.5 innings, the Phillies lead the Cubs 12-4. The Chicago 8th inning will start with right-handed batting Gene Clines. Christensen's pitch to him is a fastball inside ball 1. Clines is 1 for 3, a double, and he drove home Chicago's 2nd run in the 6th inning. 12-4 Phillies. Here's a breaking ball slammed into right field on a base hit. Klein singles to right to start the 8th inning, getting his 2nd hit of the game. That's hit number 9, and that'll probably get some action in the Phillies bullpen. It had been quiet, but now they're going to get up down there with Manny Trillo coming up. Well, we've been mentioning that the Phillies will be back on Thursday night against the Montreal Expos, and we'd like to remind you that if the Phillies have clinched the Eastern Division title by then, and it certainly looks as though they will, the flag is going to be raised at Veterans Stadium that night. That's always a thrilling ceremony. I remember last year's, and I really had goosebumps down there, and Paul Owens kissing Danny Ozark. You see a lot of strange things at ceremonies like that. That became a very famous picture. Well, come on out and see it for yourself on Thursday night at Veterans Stadium. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count on Manny Trillo. Christensen ready. Here's the pitch. A breaking ball is low. 2-1.
Steve Carlton will probably pitch Thursday night, too, because the Phillies will probably... I don't know who we're going to use tomorrow. We'll just have to... We can't worry about that. But if the Phillies win, he'll probably pitch Thursday.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Trillo. Manny charged with an error in the last half of this inning.
Phillies are about to add more excitement to the game because Tug McGraw's warming up, and if he should get the last out of this thing, look out.
Yeah, wouldn't that be some thigh slapping?
Move.
2-2 the count to Manny Trillo. Clines at first with nobody out. We're in the 8th inning. Pitch to Manny. Drilled into left center field. Nobody's going to get this one. On his way to third base is Clines. Trillo into second, and he gets there with a double. Trillo doubles to left center field, and the Cubs have runners at second and third. First hit of the ball game for Trillo, hit number 10 for the Cubs. Phillies are probably starting to think about taking Christensen out of this ball game with the huge lead that they have. Want to keep Larry sharp for the playoffs. And here comes Ray Ripplemeyer out of the dugout.
Rip usually doesn't have the hook, but he could this time. McGraw's been throwing long enough that he is ready, and Phillies might go to him right away. Larry Christensen's done a great job. He's got the bad finger, the bad blister on his finger, and The Phillies just wanted to get a strong effort out of him, and he's given up a lot of hits, but he's gotten out of some jams and pitched well, and Lord knows he's helped with the bat.
Tug is coming in the ball game. So Larry Christenson, with a fine effort today, including a grand slam home run and 5 runs batted in, will leave the ball game and turn it over to Tug McGraw. Another pitching change here in Chicago. We'll be back following these messages.
Get up and go when you hear the time tone. Colonial Federal Savings and Loan. We pay highest interest, so I shop around. Our are the most interesting people in town.
The cost of just about everything is sky high these days. It's hard to save money at all. That's why the money you can save should earn the highest interest in town. You get the highest interest at Colonial Federal Savings and Loan, more than you'll get at commercial banks. Stop in today and start earning highest interest right away. Our main office is at 1206 Chestnut Street. Branch offices are on Westchester Pike in Havertown, across from Manoa Shopping Center, and on Lansdowne Avenue, across from Bond Shopping Center in Drexel Hill. So bring your savings to us and watch our highest interest rates make it grow fast. Get up and go to Colonial Federal Savings and Loan. We're the most interesting people in town. Member FSLIC.
Get up and go when you hear the time tones. Colonial Federal Savings and Loan.
Frank Tug McGraw taking over the hill for the Phillies with 2 on and nobody out in the 8th inning, and Tug's been pitching very good baseball lately. McGraw has a 7-3 record and a 2.28 earned run average, and Tug has 15 saves this year. Check that, 9 saves. Tug with 9 saves this year, and he's been particularly effective recently. In his last 8 outings, Tug has pitched 14 2/3 innings, giving up only 3 hits and 1 earned run. He's walked 6 and struck out 13 during that time. His earned run average during that stretch figures out to 0.60. Mike Gordon, the switch hitter, will be in to bat, and he'll be batting as a right-handed hitter for the first time today. Joe Wallace is out in the on-deck circle to bat for the pitcher, Lamp. Here's the first pitch, and it's over to Gordon, a called strike. Clines the runner at third, Trillo the runner at second, nobody out. Phillies lead the ball game 12-4. McGraw from the windup. Swing and a miss. Curveball, and Gordon was 2 feet ahead of the ball. He missed that by a bunch. 0-2 the count on Gordon. Tug winds, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, he struck him out on a screwball.
He just gave a young rookie a lesson in what he throws. Fastball, curveball, screwball, see you later. And that's what he got.
Here's Joe Wallace, pinch hitting for the Cubs. Wallace pinch hitting for the pitcher, Dennis Lamb. Wallace, a switch hitter, will bat right-handed. And he's batting .274 with 2 homers and 7 runs batted in. Tug winds, pitch on the way to Wallace. Swing and a miss. Fastball, strike 1. Tug's pitching like these 2 runs would tie the ball game.
That's good. That's, he's practicing right now for jams. Now, you never have enough runs in this park, though. You gotta try and keep them off the board.
The 1-strike pitch is a called strike on a fastball at the knees on the outside corner, a nearly unhittable pitch.
Tug is pumped up. He just loves to get into situations like this where it means something, and he's throwing very well.
He winds, and here's the 2-strike pitch to Wallace. He struck him out. Swing and a miss.
He got fastball, fastball, fastball. See you later.
2 down. Runner is still at second and third, and here comes a guy who has really had quite a ball game, Ivan DeJesus. He's 3 out of 4. They charged him with a bunt at one point. He could have easily been ruled to have had a sacrifice, and he'd have a perfect day going. There was nobody out at the time, and he was moving Bill Bonham from second to third base. They might change that. Tug winds, pitch on the way, swing and a shot to center field. Maddox is not going to be able to get it, and 1 run will score. RBI single by DeJesus, his 4th hit of the ball game. Scoring is Clines. Manny Trillo moved to third base. Sinking liner to center field, and the Cubs get their 5th run. It'll be charged to Larry Christenson. It's a 12-5 ball game. Runners at the corners now with 2 down. And here's Greg Gross. Runners at the corners now with 2 down. And here's Greg Gross. Greg is 1 for 4, an RBI triple in his last at bat, and he scored a run in the 7th inning. McGraw stretches. Here's the pitch. A strike called. Fastball. Phillies lead the ball game by 7. They really cracked it open with a 7-run 7th, including a grand slam by the guy who stands to be the winning pitcher in the ball game, Larry Christenson. Hard ground ball. Sizemore knocks it down. He can't find it. Another run scores, and everybody's safe. A base hit for Gross. It was hard hit to Sizemore's right, and the Cubs have their 6th run. Gross getting his 2nd run batted in. Trillo scores on the play. Stopping at second base, DeJesus. That run is also charged to Christensen. So Tug came in to strike out the first 2 batters. Now has been touched for a pair of hits. And here's Larry Biittner, 0 for 3 with a walk. Two outs in the inning. Biittner, a left-handed batter. Pitch on the way to him. Base hit to center field. And let's see if another run scores. It will. And the Cubs get run number 7. Well, you're right when you say you never have enough runs here. Larry Biittner singles, DeJesus scores, and this run is charged to McGraw.
Yeah, you know, Phillies have a lot of runs, but this ball club, the Chicago Cubs, are a very aggressive hitting baseball team, and they just keep coming at you. They never quit, never give up, and they're swinging the bats right now, and they don't care what the score is. They're going to keep coming at you.
And now Gene Garber is getting up in the Phillies bullpen. Bob Boone out to have a word with McGraw. The batter will be Bobby Murcer. 5 hits in this inning by the Cubs. 3 runs have scored. Tug with back-to-back strikeouts of Gordon and Wallace, and now giving up 3 consecutive singles. Here's Bobby Murcer. Drove in a run in this game on a sacrifice fly, but still looking for his first hit. The screwball is low, ball 1. Tug ready. Here's the pitch. Murcer puts a bunt down the third base side. Schmidt barehands, throws to first, safe. Bases are loaded. A bunt single by Bobby Murcer has loaded the bases, and the Cubs use the surprise element here.
Well, the Cubs are making the Phillies earn it, that's for sure. They keep coming at you, this ball club. It's a good hitting team.
4 consecutive hits by the Cubs. They have out-hit the Phillies 14-12, and yet the Phillies lead the ball game 12-7. Bases loaded, 2 out. Here's Ontiveros, and the Cubs have batted around here in the 8th inning. He is the 9th batter to come to the plate. McGraw winds. Here's the pitch to Ontiveros. Ground ball, base hit, back through the middle. 2 runs are going to score. And the Cubs now trail it by only 3. It's 12-9. A 2-run single by Ontiveros. Murcer stops at second base. That one had eyes. It went back through the middle, a base hit.
Wrigley Field, boy, anything can happen in this ballpark. That's just what's happening now.
This ballpark is a great humbler. And the Cubs now have 9 runs. It's a 12-9 Phillies lead. And it's no cakewalk. Let's pause here for station identification, the Phillies Baseball Network.
This is KYW Philadelphia. AccuWeather is variable cloudiness this evening with a shower or 2 in the area. It's 73 degrees and 459 at Independence Mall.
Here's Gene Clines. He started the inning by singling to right field. Clines a right-handed batter. Tug now asking Boone to go through the signs again. Tug McGraw has given up 5 consecutive hits after back-to-back strikeouts. Pitch to Clines, breaking ball. He checked his swing, and it bounced in front of the plate as Boone blocks it. 1 ball, the count to Clines. Well, what do they say? The champagne is getting colder. I think it's cold enough.
I'll tell you, we've seen so many games in this place, and Nothing ever surprises you. They just score runs in bunches here.
We're in the 8th inning. Tug stretches. The pitch to Clines. Hard hit ball to center field, but Maddox should get it. Garry a few steps to his left, and he takes it for the 3rd out of the inning. Clines is out, and the inning is over. But the Cubs make it a good one as they score 5 runs within the inning. They had 7 hits in the inning, and they leave 2 men on base. So at the end of 8, the Phillies lead at 12-9. Now time for a tasty break. Here's a pitch over for a strike. First pitch was out of the strike zone, so it's 1-1 to Sizemore. Ted is 1 for 2 today, has been walked twice intentionally. Well, if you're just getting off work, it's been a wild ball game, but the Phillies lead at 12-9. And we're in the 9th inning. Ground ball grabbed at third base by Ontiveros. His throw across in time. Sizemore is out. And Tug McGraw is going to come to the plate, a 400 hitter. That's right, Tug is 4 out of 10 this year. So here he comes. The last time a Phillies pitcher was at the plate, it was Christenson in the 7th inning, batting with the bases loaded, and he sent a mighty shot out of here in right center field, a grand slam home run. Pitch on the way to the right-handed batting McGraw is outside a ball. Dave Justy is 0-2 this year in 19 games for the Cubs, a 5.04 earned run average. The 1-0 pitch is fouled off by Tug. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cubs have out-hit the Phillies 15-12, but they still trail it by 3 runs. They've got 1 more at bat. The Phillies win the ball game. The Eastern Division pennant chase is over. It's official. The Phillies will play the Dodgers. Outside, ball 2, 2-1. And the playoffs start 1 week from today. A week from this time, the Phillies will be taking batting practice at Dodger Stadium. That ball game will start at 8:15 Eastern Time. McGraw swings and misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tug McGraw lifts a pop-up and foul ground beyond first base. It's going out of play. They're in the bottom of the 9th at Minnesota. The White Sox 8, Minnesota 6. That's the only other game in afternoon baseball. Now the 2-2 pitch to McGraw, outside, full count. A reminder again that if the Phillies win the ball game, today's locker room celebration will be carried on both radio and television. On radio as a part of our Tasty Cake wrap-up show. Full count to Tug McGraw. 1 out, nobody on in the 9th inning. The pitch to Tug. Outside, ball 4. He walks. Justy walks McGraw. And that'll bring up Bake McBride. So Tug maintains his 400 batting average as he takes a walk. Time while Tug gets a soft cap down at first base. And McBride will come up. Bake is 1 for 5 today, singled in the big 7-run 7th inning. Well, I imagine we have a lot of folks listening in car radios on their way home today, and those traffic jams will be a little more bearable if the Phillies hang on and win this ball game, and you can join us in the celebration. And remember, if the Phillies win, that Eastern Division flag will be raised at the Vet Thursday night, so we'll be looking for you for that ball game. Outside to McBride, ball 1. Phillies in the Expos Thursday night, 7:35. Friday night at 8:05. Saturday night, Fan Appreciation Night. That'll be at 7:35. And Banner Day Sunday at 1:35. 1-0 pitch to McBride. Low, ball 2.
Welcome to everyone on the Schuylkill Expressway right now.
One of the few places where crazier things happen than here at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, they do. Not much, though. This place is really wild. I mean,
You're never safe in either place.
Yeah, you just never know.
2-0, the count to McBride. Here's the pitch, fouled away by Bake. Remember Alex Hannum, the basketball coach of the 76ers a few years ago? Was a Californian and used to driving freeways, but he never did get used to the expressway, the Schuylkill Expressway. He said, you know, the only way to drive that thing is to go on the offense. He says, I get a hold of that wheel and I drive it aggressively. Outside, a No, he called that a strike. Can you believe that? That pitch was outside and low, but it was a called strike. Bake walking away from the plate. He can't believe it. It's a 2-2 count.
Well, umpires are human. He missed that one. Andy Olson really missed that pitch, but that's the way it goes.
Justy stretches. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, base hit, just beyond the outstretched glove of Trillo. And holding at second base is McGraw. He almost missed the bag. Then he went back, and he still had ideas of going to third. Oh, Frank was taking a shortcut down there, and he almost missed the bag.
He came around second base like he was Lou Brock, you know, like he was going to first to third it as good as anybody in the league, and he missed the bag. And it's just as well because he would have been dead out at third base no matter what.
That brings up Larry Bowa. Larry has 3 hits in the ball game, 3 out of 5. Larry has scored 2 runs. Phillies lead the ball game 12-9. And batting in the 9th inning. Bowa, base hit to right field. Tug McGraw. They're going to hold him at third base. Bases are loaded. I think that's a good decision, too. Bobby Murcer has a pretty good arm in right field, so the Phillies have loaded the bases. Bowa getting his 4th hit of the ball game.
Larry Bowa, I've always said, the big game player, and he is. He always makes a good fielding play for you in a big game, and today he's done a tremendous offensive job, and when the game means something, he loves to play. I know I've lost to him in enough golf matches that you get it close, and he beats you every time.
The batter is Mike Schmidt, celebrating birthday number 28 here today, and he celebrated by hitting his 38th home run his last time up. A mighty shot that hit the foul pole screen in left field. And he will celebrate a little bit more in a little while as the Phillies stage the biggest birthday party Mike has ever seen following this ball game.
I'd like to get some more runs here, too, Andy.
Schmidt has 16 career home runs in this ballpark, and he's facing a grand slam opportunity right here. Full windup by Justy. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike 1.
Still throws that palm ball, and he doesn't use it like he used to, and the pitch isn't anywhere near as effective as it used to be, but that ball really dropped, and I guess that was Justy's palm ball.
Phillies have 2 home runs in this ball game. The grand slam by Christenson and the solo shot by Schmidt. Cubs don't have any. 1 out in this inning. Pitch on the way. Inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Schmidt. 4,606 watching the ball game at chilly Wrigley Field today. Ball game started with temperatures, well, with the temperature right at 60. I'm sure it's down in the 50s by now. Justy winds. Here's the 1-1 pitch. High, ball 2.
Well, that's for the one that he called a strike on Bake McBride. Now they're even. That was a strike. At least Dave Justy sure thought so.
I didn't think so. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mike got his 97th run batted in. He's trying to get 100 this year and going to be close. Here's the pitch to him. Ground ball. It's toward the hole. It is backhanded by DeJesus. Throw to second. Safe. Everybody's safe. A run scores. McGraw crosses the plate with run number 13, and everybody is safe. Give Mike Schmidt an infield hit and his 98th RBI. Pretty good play by DeJesus, but he just couldn't get anybody.
You know, you give Bowa credit on that. He got Mike Schmidt the hit because of his great speed. He really hustled going into second base, and DeJesus made a super play. They did everything he could to get Bowa, and Bowa just barely beat the throw and got Schmidt a hit and an RBI out of it.
A 13-9 ball game, and Jerry Martin, who came in defensively for the Phillies, gets up to the plate for the first time. Martin is hitting .257 with 6 home runs and 25 runs batted in. Base is still loaded, 1 out. Pitch to Jerry. Hard hit ball back through the middle. Base hit. Couple of runs are going to score. McBride scores. Here comes Bowa. He scores. And the Phillies lead the ball game 15-9. 2 RBIs for Jerry Martin. Schmidt stops at second base, and Herman Franks, at a snail's pace, is headed for the mound.
Oh, those are nice. You know, they give up 5 last inning, come right back and get 3. Look at the scoring in this game from the 6th inning on. The Phillies have scored 12 runs from the 6th inning on, and the Chicago Cubs have scored 8 runs. 20 runs in 3 and a third inning.
Well, Dave Justy is going to leave after pitching just a third of an inning. They're going to bring Donnie Moore into work. We've got a pitching change here at Wrigley Field, and the champagne celebration is not far away. We'll be back in a moment. Right-hander Donnie Moore with a 1-0 lifetime record against the Phillies is in the ball game as the sixth pitcher used by the Cubs today. Justy lasted just 1/3 of an inning. Donnie Moore up a couple of times with the Cubs this year. He's 4-2 this season with a 4.13 earned run average. He'll be facing Tommy Hutton. Pitch on the way to Tommy. It's a slider over for a strike. Hutton got an infield hit in his only at bat in this ball game. Now the Phillies have 16 hits and the Cubs have 15. Runners at first and second with one out. The pitch to Hutton, ground ball, one hop to the mound. Moore fires over to DeJesus for one, back to first, a double play. Hutton grounds into a 1-6-3 double play, and the inning is over. But the Phillies get 3 runs in the ninth inning. They do it on 4 hits, and there is 1 man left on base. At the end of 8.5 innings, Phillies lead 15-9. We go to the last half of the ninth inning. Last chance for the Cubs. Here's a final score just in. The White Sox have beaten the Twins in the only other day action aside from this here at Wrigley Field. Cubs 8-6 winners in that ball game. Chris Knapp, the winning pitcher, 12-7. Jeff Zahn, the Minnesota starter, is the loser. He's 12-7 as well. A save in that ball game for Hamilton, and Richie Zisk had 2 home runs. Manny Trillo will be first up for the Cubs in the ninth inning. It'll be Trillo, Gordon, and then a pinch hitter for Donnie Moore. Tug McGraw on the mound for the Phillies. Tug weathered a little storm last inning. Pitch on the way to Trillo, hard hit ball, and Boa can't get it. It's a base hit to center field. Well, the Cubs are not going to die easily. It's a 15-9 Phillies lead. Trillo starts the Chicago ninth with a single to center. Second hit of the ball game for Trillo, and hit number 6 off McGraw. And number 16 for the Cubs, and that'll get the bullpen up. Mike Gordon, the batter. Switch hitter, will bat right-handed. Tug stretches. Here's the pitch. Low ball 1. Gene Garber is working in the Phillies' right field bullpen. Dave Rosello is out on the on-deck circle to bat for Donnie Moore. Here's a fly ball, shallow right field. Sizemore back, McBride in. It'll be Bake's play. Bake takes it for the out. Gordon pops out to shallow right field, first out of the ninth inning. Davey Rosello will come up now for Donnie Moore.
A little touch of irony here. Just thinking the last time that a pennant was clinched here, a division title in this ballpark, was the New York Mets in '73, and Tug McGraw was the guy who finished that game.
That's right, and there is Tug right back out on the mound again, needing 2 outs to get the job done. And we'll be ready here. It could happen on a double play. Rosello batting right-handed, hits at 218. Inside, ball 1. Phillies trying to wrap up the Eastern Division title for the 2nd consecutive season. Pitch on the way to Rosello. He fouls it back, a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to pinch hitter Davey Rosello.
What's the score? 15-9?
That's it.
Can't, you know, that scoreboard up there, you have to add it.
It doesn't give the... I've often said the one thing the Chicago scoreboard doesn't give is the score, and it's true. And a day like today, it takes some adding. That's why I'm keeping a running count here, Chris. Pitch on the way to Rosello. 1 hop to McGraw. To Boa. Out at second. To first. Double play. The Phillies have won the Eastern title. Look at Tug. He's dancing around, shaking hands with Tommy Hutton, doing a dance. Everybody screaming out of the dugout. And the long wait is over. Right. The Phillies had a slow start this year, but a great second half. And they have won the Eastern Division title for the 2nd year in a row. And a double play ball to finish it off. And the waiting is over. The Phillies will play the Dodgers for the National League pennant. Some excitement here in Chicago, and we'll be back to wrap it up for you in just a moment.
I'm Harry Callis, and we've got the sensibly sized luxury car you've been waiting for. Chrysler LeBaron. Your Chrysler Plymouth dealer's got a good selection of 2- and 4-door beauties, each with the features you want. LeBaron's sure built for good looks and comfort. And now's the smart time to buy, because you get luxury and beat the 78 price increase, too. Get the best 77 deal on LeBaron at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers today.
Let me tell you about the guys that drink Ortlieb's, because they're not ordinary beer drinkers. They're beer lovers. And there is a difference. You see, a beer drinker buys 1 or 2 cases a week. But a beer lover, he comes back and gets 1 more for the weekend. And when you love beer that much, you're looking for one with a taste that can keep up with you. And that's the kind of beer I make.
Try Joe's beer. Ortlieb's.
Well, we're going to do a quick wrap-up so we can get into our Tasty Cake wrap-up show. A case of Tasty Cakes awarded to the winning pitcher, Larry Christenson, for his 18th, and the Phillies have won the Eastern Division title. Please stay with us. We're going to switch live to the locker room, and you will be right there at the party, and it should be a dandy. Quickly, well, let's not give the totals here. We'll give them on the locker room show. We'll have plenty of chance to talk to you then. We'll just say that it's been a pleasure broadcasting this one today. A whole lot of fun. And Andy Musser speaking for Chris Wheeler, Ralph Buhlman, our technician, and this is the Phillies Baseball Network.
Phillies Baseball has been sponsored in part by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer. If you want a #1 deal on a top-notch selection of great new cars, he's got it. And by Tasty Cake. Still all the good things wrapped up in one, and proud to list them right on the label. Thanks, Tasty Cake. The Champion Spark Plug Company. Champion reminds you that the fresher your plugs, the better your mileage. And by the more than 300 MAB paint stores, dealers, and Rich Lux home centers. They're making America beautiful. By that friendly man at your Sunoco station, home of the penny pinching pump, where you can get $1.90, the gas that's made to sell below his regular. That's his way of being very friendly. By Gerard Bank, the bank with more than 80 offices and 23 George machines, conveniently located to meet all your banking needs. By your Coca-Cola bottler, who reminds you that Coke adds life to baseball and all your favorite sports. Enjoy it often.
Have you caught the latest?
This is KYW 1060 Philadelphia, Group W Westinghouse Broadcasting, serving Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware from Independence Mall. The top story of the hour, of course, the Phils clinched the pennant in the East, and a bill that would appropriate $300 million to Pennsylvania's professional schools is in trouble in the legislature. One portion of the money has been, or the measure has been defeated on an initial vote. It will come up for a vote again tomorrow. KYW News Times, 522.
A Cotman Transmission Center is really together. Here's how they do it. They start with a fully stocked parts department, which supplies the technicians who repair the transmissions, so your car runs quiet together.
Cotman Transmissions 1145 service includes replacing the fluid, cleaning the sump and screen, adjusting the bands and linkage, and installing a new pan gasket. All for $11.45. Even without our normal free towing service, it's the best deal in town.
Cotman fixes transmissions because they know how.
For the leaders in preventive maintenance, see your local yellow pages for the Cotman man near you.
Tasty Cake, bakers of more than 30 delicious kinds of fresh-baked cakes, pies, and cookies, is proud to bring you the Tasty Cake Wrap-Up Show. A Tasty Cake exclusive packed with news, views, and a wrap with today's Phillies star of the game. So gather around and listen in while Tasty Cake wraps up some of the very best in baseball for the 1977 season. Tasty Cake and the Phillies. All the good things wrapped up in one.
Andy Musser back at Wrigley Field on the Tasty Cake Wrap-Up Show. And momentarily, we're going to be switching to the locker room and join the post-game celebration down there, which is going to be carried on a simulcast on our radio and television networks. Rich Ashburn will be down there in the locker room, and then very shortly after we switch to Rich, Harry Callis will be going down there, too. The Phillies win the Eastern Division title with a big 15-9 victory in this ball game. Win number 18 for Larry Christenson. He also hit a grand slam home run in this ball game. And we're going to be replaying some of the highlights of the ball game as well after we get back from the locker room. So it's a mad celebration down there, I'm sure. And Rich Ashburn will be down there, and we're going to switch to the locker room and pick up all the excitement. Let's go downstairs right now.
Garry Maddox. Garry Maddox.
Garry, good year. Nice job again. How do you feel about it?
Super. You know, we're just letting it all hang out now. It's finally got it over with, and just glad to be here. I tell you.
You're not going to be satisfied, though, with the division title. You want to go a little further, don't you?
No, we got the division title last year. We don't want to repeat that. We want to go all the way this time, man. Bring it on home to Phillies.
Garry, great year. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're going to try to get more of the players, more of the club officials up here. Paul, come up here, will you? Come on up here.
General manager who put this ball club together for 2 successive championships, and when you win it twice in a row, Paul, you are a real champion.
I'm real proud of this club. They've come a long way, and we've overcome some adversity early, and it's just a great ball club.
They're a family, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They're close in the group. I'm real proud of them.
I think the turning point, Richie will agree with me or not, was when you acquired McBride.
I think it was a big difference in us being right here today, and it was a good deal for us, but we got a good ball player for a long while. That's the nice part of it.
The boy that ended up or started your game today, Christenson, had a great year for you. He held you together while Lomberg was getting ready.
He certainly did, and Larry just come on. He's a real polished pitcher. He had a little trouble with his fingers, and he didn't use his slider too much today, but he still won.
Paul, I would say 100 pounds now are off of these ball players' shoulders after winning it. They can relax for a couple of days.
I think so, and I think that'll give us just about enough time to get ready for LA.
Well, congratulations to you and to Danny Ozark.
Thank you very much, Lou.
Paul, nice going, buddy.
Thank you, Richie. Give me a kiss.
Let's see if Danny is around here.
We're going to get players and club officials up here as we grab them. We're in a bad spot right by the champagne buckets, needless to say. And
they are really some
Booney
shooting here.
Booney, get up here, would you?
Here's a fellow that's got some very important hits at Chicago.
Well, Booney's been getting them all year. Booney, you've had some injuries, but you hung in there. It looks like you're feeling pretty good now.
Not too bad, Rich. We got one more to go, and that'll be the one we want. Next one.
You know, I'm just about as happy as this youngster because he worked out with me when his dad played for me in Cleveland. Is that all right, Bobby?
All the time.
Let him work out. We let the youngsters work out, and I'm mighty proud of you, buddy. You came a long way.
Can't beat this. Can't beat this, though.
Congratulations to you, buddy.
Thank you.
Good year, Bobby. Nice going.
Bobby Boone. Where's the skipper? They got the skipper in the showers?
I don't know where Danny Ozark is right at the moment. We'll try to corral him. For just a moment. Okay, we're looking for Danny Ozark right at the moment. Here's a bunch of guys really happy in here, club officials, players. I think it's a little more subdued than last year. A clubhouse celebration, and we'll be back right after this.
And now it's time for a tasty break.
Tasty cake is a day in spring, a brand new love or a golden ring. Tasty cake is the morning sun, it's all the good things wrapped up in one. Tasty cake is a dip you'll see, a song they're singing for you and me. Tasty cake is a world of fun, it's all the good things wrapped up in one.
Those fabulous Phillies look like $1 million this season. And so does one of your all-time Tasty Cake favorites. Because Tasty Cake has wrapped them up in a bright new family pack with a brand new name, Tasty Cake Candy Cakes. Candy Cakes, a fresh new way to ask for the fresh baked taste of a luscious chocolatey treat. One you've been asking Tasty Cake for over 60 years. Tasty Cake chocolate, peanut butter, and mint candy cakes. Still all the good things wrapped up in one.
Tasty cake is a world of fun. It's all the good things wrapped up in one.
And we're back at Chicago. We'll be switching back to the locker room momentarily, but let's call Chris Wheeler in for a wrap-up comment. Chris, we haven't heard from you since the ball game ended.
Great feeling, Andy. You know, to win 2 of these in a row and to be on the broadcast team all year and be a part of it. And Larry Bowa, a good friend, I was so happy for him. The great game he played today and the double play he turned, I'll tell you, he would have thrown that ball right through the stands if he hadn't been caught by Hutton.
Okay, let's go back down to the locker room. Rich Ashburn is in the locker room along with Lou Boudreau.
Where are you, Harry? Back in the Phillies clubhouse, Rich Ashburn here with Tug McGraw. Harry Callis is going to join us here also.
You good base running dude, you. Nice going, baby.
And the eyeball today to protect my average. Tug, you wound one up here for the Mets in '73, another one here today. You made it kind of interesting, but a great year for you, Tug. Nice going.
Thank you. I have to give them credit for making it interesting. I had good stuff today. They continued to hit me, so they're the ones that made it interesting.
You ready for the Dodgers?
I am. I think the rest of us are. I like the way our ball club played today, the way we came out and we started swinging the bats real well, and I think we're right in the direction we want to go and heading towards Los Angeles.
Tug night's going. Hope we have a good playoffs, and we have another one here in about a week or so.
Okay, well, gosh darn it, I hope you're right.
Okay, Tug McGraw. We're trying to get Danny Ozark up here, of course.
Larry on, yep. Oh.
Yeah, no, Larry, we'll get Larry back here.
Larry Bowa, 4 hit. No way you were going to wait for tonight and wonder what the Pirates...
Hey, let me tell you, man, I want to go out of this thing a winner, and we did. We've been tough all year. We even had to battle today. You know, they just kept coming at us, and when it was 12-9, we came in down and said we had to get some more, and we did. And Schmidt and Bull have been unbelievable. You know, I just can't single out one guy, because the whole team has been great. The extra man, and most of all, again... Once again, I want to thank Bird Rap for getting the big man over here, Bake McBride.
Hey, how about that?
And it's to you.
My first down is happy.
Harry, we got a guy back here, Bake McBride. Philly's got Bake McBride in June, and Bake...
Don't hold back. Don't hold back.
Larry Bowa said it, I think, earlier, that the guy that may have really got this thing going, I think it's more of a coincidence that when the Phillies got Bake McBride, this team's starting to roll. Larry, you mentioned that earlier.
Well, I think, since I've been over here, I think we needed a leadoff hitter, and, I've tried my best to be a good leadoff hitter, and, I'm just thankful that I'm over here on the winner.
Well, Bake, you have done a tremendous job. I'm not sure what you've hit over here, around 350, 360, but this club was glad to have you. You really have made things go for the team.
Thank you. I just hope we can continue to win, and, I hope we can go all the way.
Good job, Bake. Keep it up.
Nice going, Baker. On to Los Angeles. Where's the ball? Greg Luzinski. Go for it, big guy. Gone for it all season. Now I shall know, Harry. I know that, 15-9, it had to be kind of indicative of the ball club. True club effort with 15 runs. Well, I helped by dropping that fly ball and keeping it close, I didn't want these guys to, think we were in a cakewalk there, but, again, this club's got great depth. I think we learned something last year in the playoffs. We lost, 3 straight to Cincinnati. We'll be going to L.A., and we're an experienced ball club now, and the depth just goes to show you all season our depth did it for us. Seriously, at what point of the season did you feel like the Phillies were going to repeat? All the way? Well, all the way. We got off to a little slow start, but this is a mature ball club. We felt in spring training we were going to win it. There's no doubt about that. Owens got a few more players for us. Got, like I said, a better bench strength. Ted Sizemore did a tremendous job for us at second base, and I don't know. We felt all along that we're going to have another day like we did in Montreal, and here it is in Chicago. Better club than last year? Definitely. I think, again, the experience is there. We got another year under our belt, and that's the big thing. All right, Bull, go for it. Gene, I'll be all right. All right. Gene, he'll be all right. We'll be back with more locker room celebration right after this.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Hiya, cousin. You say you just got hit with the largest tax increase in Philadelphia history, and it looks like state taxes are going up, too. And your kids' schools are still in bad shape. And the controller you voted for in the primary was the fella in charge of the taxpayers' money when all the taxes went up. And the controller and the gas commission just raised your gas rate by 16%. And he's the chairman, the commission, and now he's counting on your vote again. Is that what's bothering you, Bunky? Well, straighten up. You can make a real change at City Hall. Don't let the politicians take your vote for granted. Never give up. Never give up. Never give up. That vote. With Coppolino for controller and Lazen for district attorney, you can change things at City Hall. Lazen and Coppolino before it gets worse.
Paid for by Republican City Committee, Charles Santora, treasurer.
For the National League lead in home runs among pitchers now. He joins teammate Steve Carlton. They each have 3. And a couple of other pitchers also have 3. He's quite a hitter.
Roden and Seaver have 3, too. And what a great job he's done for the Phillies. 18 wins for that young kid. He's only 23 years old, and you've seen him come in the last couple of years, and Larry Christenson really arrived. He's got the bad blister right now, but he's still doing a great job.
Well, we're getting ready to go back and rejoin the locker room celebration. Rich Ashburn and Harry Callis in the locker room for more of the celebration. Let's go downstairs.
Back in the locker room celebration, we have Tim McCarver here, who's been through other locker room celebrations in St. Louis. Tim, how about this ball club?
I'm more interested in talking about the champagne. I think it was imported from Wilmington.
Chateau Deerpan.
Deerpan. Real French name.
this club compared to the other clubs you played for and that have been in similar situations?
I think this club has more confidence than the club we had last year, Harry, and I think it's shown in the subtle way they're conducting themselves right now. No, I think it's the best, the most talented club I've ever been on, and this is the 5th time for me in postseason play, and to say that after coming off of 2 World Series teams in 64 and 7, this is the best club I've ever played on.
Ever a point in the season where you wondered if you could repeat, or did you feel it all the way?
I knew if we had everybody healthy that we could get a winning pace, but I wasn't sure whether everybody would be healthy together. We lost Tug, we lost Lonnie at the beginning of the season, and Richie, and we had some nagging, gnawing injuries at other players. But once we got healthy... What did I say, Harry, to make you... What did I say to trigger that response? My hands are here now, Harry.
Fans, be sure to come out Thursday night when the Phillies are going to have the Eastern Division flag-raising ceremony. You'll see the 1977 Eastern Division champs, and Steve Carlton will catch a pitch, and you'll catch.
Book that in the opening game of the playoffs, and we're ready for them.
Number 24.
You got that right. Thank you, Harry.
I'm so happy. Congratulations. Here's a guy that you can't believe. Fill that second base spot. Teddy, you've been a bridesmaid how many years? And I don't got it.
6 times second place.
6 times second place.
And these are the greatest bunch of guys. I want to say Paul Owens, Rudy Carpenter, all the guys on the team, the manager, the people in Philadelphia. Thank you for accepting me. I am happy. Thank you very much.
Super job, guys. And we'll be...
This is Bill Branson back here at the studio in Philadelphia. We have Bill Giles of the Phillies on the line. It's started out a tough year, Bill. It wound up a good one.
It sure did, Bill. We're doing a little champagne down here at the office. The people are getting all the playoff tickets ready, and we're very happy, but it's a little different than last year. We're not going to be satisfied with the division thing. I really think we're all looking forward to beating the Dodgers and then going on from there, and it's a happy occasion down here in the office, and we just, really hope that we can win it for the Philadelphia fans.
I think everybody thought that this year the Phillies had a lock on it early, and along about May and June there was some question. But once they got it together, there was not that much question. In these last couple of days, I guess a lot of people were a little bit concerned, but when you got 6.5 games, it's nice, and there is no comparison between this team and what happened in 1964. You know that.
Well, you look back on 64 and you all start to worry a little bit, but I don't think there is any comparison. I think when we got McBride, and I think this team really has more talent than last year's team, and I just hope we prove it in the playoffs because they deserve it, and I just hope Lonborg and Christensen can pitch well in the playoffs.
Well, everything begins next week, and you've got 2 shots out on the coast. If you can split them there, I'm giving it the dark cloud aspect. If you split there, you got to take 2 at home, don't you think?
Well, you would certainly think so with our record at home, and I know our talent is better than the Dodgers, but in a short 3 out of 5 series, you're never sure, but I think the players are confident. I think we're a lot more confident going into the playoffs this year than we were with the Reds, and I really look forward to beating them. I think we can do it, and I sure hope so.
Well, the Phillies will be back home for a weekend series with Montreal. You got a big presentation coming up, Fan Appreciation Night, and I guarantee they'll be hanging from the rafters.
Well, we also, Thursday night, we're going to raise the divisional flag, and we hope that thing is replaced very quickly with some other flags, like the National League pennant and also the World Series championship pennant.
All right, thank you, Bill Giles of the Phillies. And this is Bill Branson in Philadelphia.
Tasty Cake, bakers of more than 30 delicious kinds of fresh-baked cakes, pies, and cookies, has brought you the Tasty Cake Wrap-Up Show. A Tasty Cake exclusive packed with news, views, and a wrap with the Phillies star of the game. Tune in next time when Tasty Cake wraps up some of the very best in baseball on the Tasty Cake Wrap-Up Show. Tasty Cake and the Phillies. All the good things wrapped up in one.
Tasty Cake is a world of fun. It's all the good things wrapped up in one.